you donated, the better chance. We had the best seats in the house.
Yeah, it wasn't like that up there. It was, you know, if you're in certain sections, you had to pay a certain fee every year.
Didn't the guy who built your stadium, he had it legally, didn't he say, I'm building the stadium, but if you ever change it,
Turn that on quick.
Yeah, I know it said now,
That's
but
why it's still Ryan.
Hey, welcome to the,
Is it on?
yeah, it's on, the MSPT. This is the pros versus Joes free roll. Half of these guys qualified through my bar league that I have in northern Minnesota, and I'm in the commentator's booth, MSPT Eric, for the first time. This is kind of exciting back here. I'm with Josh Reichert. If you want to say hi, Josh.
Hello. I don't know if it looks quite exciting here.
It looks like a fun one.
The table would be much more exciting than the commentary booth, in my opinion.
Yeah, we've got some characters here. So Tom's going to raise, everybody's going to fold. Now,
Kirby's gonna call, I think. They're deep enough. He's got 5-6 suited. Out of position though. Okay.
Hartman just commented that it's supposed to be 5 pros and 5 Joes, and he sees 9 Joes, and he's the only pro.
Always the character.
Oh, Liz.
Ryan Hartman.
There's your bar player. She owns
She limped under the
Side
gun.
Street Bar in Fertile with the King 6.
Combo draw for Kirby. Nothing for Liz. Tom's got ace of hearts, backdoor flush draw.
I recall reporting on you in MSPT when you took second.
C4 call. C3 folded.
All right, now we've got our heads up view.
I remember.
Yeah.
That's an action card. Tom picks up the double gutter with the nut flush draw, and Kirby has a made flush. Could see a lot of money going. Okay, Tom elected to check back, which is good for him, but he makes the queen high straight on the river.
That might be bad for him.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
See, and this is kind of a turbo event. They've got a 10K starting stack in 20-minute levels.
It's 25-50 blinds to start?
Yep, 25-50 to start.
C6 calls.
All right. I wonder how much Tom would have called.
A lot.
Yeah,
he had the ace of hearts
Yeah.
to
I
block
mean, on the
some
river.
flushes.
Yeah.
He would have called a lot,
For
a lot
sure.
on the river.
Yeah. It's just kind of a cooler to start the hand. But you can see up here, MSPT free roll.
Pretty much the same person.
So how many people were in the tournament that allowed you guys to qualify? 44
Everybody's
people?
starting 200 big blinds deep. Plenty of play.
These 3 and those 2 qualified through the MSPT free roll. I guess it's a bar league, right? That Eric does up north.
I'll just let Chad talk
And
about
so
it.
that's how
Yeah.
they won their seats here. Yeah.
C4 fold.
Yeah, so the 5, oh, there's Mark waking up with the ace and the ace. Mark
They
Hodge,
just had the
season
qualifying
6
tournament on the second,
MSPT player of the year.
Nobody has anything.
Nothing. Now,
Raises to 150. I don't know how updated it is, but he was
Why don't you run through the players? You know them
okay,
pretty
okay,
well.
Yeah, let's do that. Seat 1 is Paul Morton. He's out of Duluth. He actually worked for the MSPT. If you recognize him, we sent him on a couple of regionals,
the second biggest stack.
and
I don't know.
he ran a few of the bar leagues up in the Duluth area.
C2 check, C3
So
I was watching the action.
we got 5-way action when I said nobody has anything. That's what happens when you're 200 big blinds deep early on.
Keith,
in the
Liz,
early
and Margaret
stages.
all call with the 10-5, the King 8, the 8-9. They want to see flops. This might be bad for Margaret. She flopped top pair, and she doesn't like to fold. Margaret runs my my bar in Bagley. And like I said, she's still got top pair. I don't see her folding.
Mark's gonna bet big on the
Mark
turn
could
and
bet
big on
really
the river.
big, and I don't see Margaret folding at all. She was telling me how nervous she was to get in here. It's funny because her husband actually won the seat to play
He's
last
letting her play
Saturday, and last Saturday to play in the state tournament, and he let her play it. He said she's a better player,
Okay, and then she got the seat to this.
and then she ended up getting the top 10%.
That's a pretty safe river card
Yeah,
for Mark.
Mark can bet whatever he wants, and she's going to call it.
But he doesn't know that either.
Right,
He has
right.
no history on her.
Seat 7 bets 2,300.
Yeah,
And she's just going to snap call it with top
grabbing
pair.
calling chips quickly.
And he's worried. He's like, "What do you have?"
Bluffs.
Seat 9 calls.
And
Show a pair
aces.
of aces.
Yeah.
You got to change the. It doesn't matter what side. As long as they're on that side, it doesn't matter. We can write. I know how to play those. We can write big words on that
Hartman
side.
was saying that the cards were marked on the face side.
So it's a tough spot there. It's
Okay,
not
sorry.
fair.
Start in the 1 seat, go around.
The 1
it.
seat,
Yeah.
Paul Morton. Yeah, that was a hand that nothing was supposed to happen, so
Yeah.
we started introductions. Paul Morton in the 1 seat. In the 2 seat is Keith Abrahamson. He runs most of my whole west side of everything west of Bagley. Keith takes care of for me. He's a very solid player. The league has been around since like 2007, and he's been there since the beginning.
A lot of people have tried to catch
Let me quick look and see if there's going to be any action here before I keep going.
Seat 5.
You're all right. You can keep talking.
We're good?
If anything gets
Okay.
super important, we'll discuss it.
All right. So that's Keith Abrahamson. He won several seats, and just actually Keith in the 2 seat and Liz in the 3 seat ran really good on Saturday and had piles of chips. They had all the chips in the state tournament.
Which is, so you had to earn points throughout the
You-
year
you
to
had to-
qualify for the state tournament.
Well, you play for 10 weeks to earn points, and then we have what's called a regional tournament.
Okay.
And the top 10% of the regional tournament get a certificate into the state tournament. And we
Top-
then the top 10% of the regional tournament won the $1,000 to get into this.
So regional to state and
Yep.
then state to this, right?
State
Okay.
is, this
And
one.
to even get in the regional tournament, you had to get points throughout the
You
year?
had to you play for 10 weeks to get points, and you
What
play for
percent of
free.
the points
30%.
30% of the
So,
points
so
earners, okay.
fairly,
Seat 9
We
bets
got
large amount of
nuts and
players.
second nuts here. Well, not excluding straight flushes, I guess. So not quite that big of a cooler. But she bet 1,000 with the queen of spades, and Keith raised it 2,000.
Seat 9 calls.
Oh yeah.
Ah, this is a bad start for Margaret.
Oh yeah.
Show ace high flush.
She
King high flush.
Never wins.
she had second best hands both
Wow.
I
times.
like that. That's
Yeah.
the opposite end of the spectrum.
and I want to know what Ryan's telling Margaret right now. He's saying, I would have went
you're
broke
right.
with queen high
I
flush
know him
right
pretty
there.
well because he's from Wisconsin and we played in a lot of the same circles. And
That's
it's
a
weird 'cause
little unnecessary
off the
needle.
golf, he's-
Thanks for betting, Margaret. He says they must know each other well enough to
Yeah.
do that.
brings out something in him. Tell me.
But even, she's got 81 big blinds still after
she's
losing those
fine.
spots, so she's all right.
Yeah.
So then you were on the 3 seed, I
The
guess?
3 seed is Liz. She owns a bar in Fertile, Minnesota.
You mucked. I
And
don't know what you had. That's
she
what I placed them on there.
qualified,
So when we
got
watch
in,
it back, we can see.
and she's here now. I've never played with her, but she's I like Liz. We're Facebook friends, so we chat on there.
So she knows Johnny.
Everybody knows Johnny. Johnny's Facebook famous.
250.
Then what do we have? The 4 seat? Kirby? Matt Kirby.
Everybody knows
Yeah,
Kirby.
everybody that's watching the MSPT knows Matt Kirby, 2-time MSPT champion.
You'll say you at least won one.
He actually
more than I've
took
won.
second place
more than
in
I've
the Pros versus Joes last year when
Where's
we
that
had
at, your
it.
house?
Yep, it was up in Bemidji.
Okay.
One guy's like, look.
And then Chad in the 5 seat, WSOP bracelet winner. Yeah, he likes us to say that. And also the live reporter for the MSPT Poker Tour. He's got quite a few different qualifications. Hammers. He hasn't been as loud as you would expect so far.
Yep, I think he's
Soda juice,
easing
coffee,
into it
soda.
today.
Tom Hammers, a staple in the Minnesota
We got
poker
Tom
scene.
Hammers with Ace Jack and Mark with Ace Queen. Mark
Eh.
in the 7 seat.
It won't be that much action, I don't think.
No, if we had
They'll probably go 4 or 5 ways to the flop with the 10-9.
right.
the 8-6, the ace-jack, the king-deuce suited maybe from Chad. Chad said to me that I might see him make some calls that are a little loose.
Unorthodox?
Well, look, I mean, I said 5 or 6 ways, and everybody folded their hands now this time. Kirby won't play the 10-9, actually. Chad does play the king-deuce suited, at least.
In the small blind, defends. I lost all of the bar players.
3 play.
They had double up.
7 seeds, Mark Hodge, who already picked up aces. Chad flopped top pair here. Everybody checked. Oh, and the 2-outer to beat Chad on the turn.
5 check, 6 check.
And then Tom has ace-jack and Mark the ace-queen. Tom's going to probably think he's got a good hand here.
Yeah.
So we got Mark Hodge. He was a season
6
six player of the year.
Yep.
He had
We're
a
in
great
season 8
year.
right
Tons
now.
of final tables, tons of cashes that year. And then
Oliver.
8 seat. Okay.
Oliver in the 8 seat. He plays up in Roseau. He's from Canada, actually. I don't know much about him because I only see him every 10 weeks when he comes down for the regional tournament. But he won his seat at the regional tournament, and then he
They're aces.
won his seat Saturday. So I expect him to be pretty solid. I didn't see him getting out of line. Liz in the 3 seat and Margaret in the 9 seat really got hit by the deck Saturday. They played well and they got all the cards, so that's why
Checked it behind and got
I don't know about Oliver, though. I think he just had an average stack and just kind of was grinding his way through the day.
And then Margaret in the 9 seat. We've seen her play some hands already.
She's had some bad luck.
You said she's a bar owner as well? Or?
She's not a bar owner. She runs the Bagley bar
Okay.
for me. She's a
Just
tournament.
runs it.
I just realized when I was buying all these people in,
Seems like a common theme that quite a few
they're all
of
the
them
tournament
run
directors.
the
Yeah,
tournaments for you.
So except for Oliver, the other 4 run tournaments for me. I hadn't realized that until I was going, oh yeah, Keith runs this
Yeah,
tournament.
I was
Paul
going to
runs
touch
this
on that
tournament.
after we ran through everyone, that it seemed like a common theme. He runs this
Yeah.
tournament, run that tournament.
And,
then
and running the tournament is a non-paid-for job. They just show up early, take care of everything, put everything away, stay till the end, and enter the scores every week. And it's a non-paid job just because they like it so much.
So
They
maybe
get a-
that's a little good karma for them putting in the extra work and helping you out, and here they are.
Yeah, so it's really nice. And last is Ryan Hartman, who he's a fixture on the MSPT. They were talking earlier. He got 2nd place at one of our events in 2013 that Chad was playing in.
Just reading the paper while playing a hand. Doesn't seem too interested. He's got a gut shot and an overcard. He's probably gonna reading a. Oh, that was a horse racing book, I think.
Yeah, if you're
Probably
friends
trying to degen some horses.
if you're friends with Ryan on Facebook, he throws out. He doesn't post often, but when he does, it's about.
He posts some really good.
Yeah, they're
horse
really good
picks,
horse
yeah.
picks, and I don't know anything about horse racing at all. Yeah. But he seems to win. So
Yeah, he does well. He knows a lot about the horses. It's nice to see him back out here. I haven't seen him for a while actually playing. So, is he planning to play the main this weekend? Do you know?
I believe he is.
Good.
2 people that are not here that were supposed to be here are
in Wisconsin.
Luke Aurora and Blake Bond, who
About an hour north of Madison.
are in Vegas right now playing the 5 Diamond.
How many chips did they both bag for day 3? Do you know?
Northern Wisconsin.
I do not know. I saw a tweet before I left that before we sat down, Blake just tweeted out that he had like 250 or something. I'm going off of memory.
That's good.
And the blinds are
10 minutes, 15
Started with 30K, I think, and the blinds are probably 1,600 right now or something.
yeah. It
It's
started this
early.
morning at 500, 1,000.
It's a very deep tournament. Ryan tried to bluff at this one, but Mark Hodge was not having any of it.
You're better at following the action. I don't get to see this side of it.
You can watch the action tracker. That
Yeah.
you'll see it. It's
I'll get used to it, right?
Yeah.
Normally, I'm just sitting there doing Brandon's job. Brandon Temple's a new to the MSPT crew.
did some fishing up that way.
There, Blake Bond made a nice little call, 350K, playing 12 and 2,400.
Nice.
Does that Luke guy have a Twitter?
Luke, I think he busted late last night.
Oh, okay.
Luke is the MSPT champ. He won. He won
Here,
a
right?
event. Nope.
Or running aces?
Yep. He won the other Minnesota venue 2 years ago, I think, and Matt Alexander took second in that tournament.
C10 raises to 125. C1 folds, 2 folds. Re-raise. 300 total.
All right, we got Hodge with pocket sevens, and Liz with pocket deuces.
Liz re-raised the deuces.
Yep.
Kirby's in there with the 7-8 suited. That's the abilities of stacks being this deep that you can cold call 3
Right.
bets with hands like 7-8 suited.
8 fold.
Mark's in there with sevens,
Yep.
and yeah,
So-
Ryan's actually in a lot better shape than what he probably thinks with the ace-10.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm happy to see Liz 3-bet this with deuces.
Kirby
Just
flops the nuts. I don't
easy game.
He bets 500.
like to see her getting a little
I
aggressive.
like to see her be aggressive and not just kind of roll over to these pros. You know, she's like, I've got a pair and I'm
Yeah,
gonna play it.
Kirby thinks that she has a better hand, which is good that he would think that,
Right.
but it's he's not going to get any value here. He's expecting to get value from her.
7 fold. 10 fold.
Called the 300 thinking she probably had a big hand. He doesn't know that she's 3-betting a hand like deuces.
Recall.
Oh, but she's going to call? Maybe she's putting him on a flush draw. She got, at least she didn't turn a deuce.
Right. I think she probably folds.
I mean, that didn't change much if he had a flush draw.
I feel like she gets away from this one. Oh, Liz.
Recall.
She's trying to be a hero.
Yep.
She's drawing dead, but
Yep.
and if he had a flush draw, that still doesn't change anything. It's a good river card for deuces, really. But I don't know. We'll see.
3 checks, 4 bets 1500.
Can she get away from it?
I would think yes, but I don't know. Can she? Yes. Will she? Probably not. She called all the way down to this point. She probably didn't think you had much, so.
Right. She just asked Keith if he would bluff. It's so hard to fold. Oh, good job. Thank you, Liz. It's so hard to fold.
Yeah, good fold.
Kirby is
Flop the straight.
being a gentleman and showing her that he had it, and she made a good fold.
That was nice. Like I said, we've got 20-minute levels and a 10K starting stack, so it's going to be a fairly fast tournament. A lot of big hands. Does it always happen like this, where you just flop straights and have aces and?
Not always, but I mean, coolers happen in poker. That last heads-up battle at Potawatomi, that was, what was it, 2 or 3 coolers in a row?
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun final table to watch on my drive home.
Somebody was talking about your midsection that wasn't even yours.
Oh, the chicken wing belly.
Chicken wing belly, Eric. That was unfair that I said that about your belly when it wasn't even your belly.
I got a little chicken wing belly, but it's that
Not
dealer
that-
had a couple
not-
pounds on
not
me.
that big one.
Oliver's got the ace king. Liz has got the ace 10. Those are
3 cards. C4 folds.
Chad's gonna play the 3-4 suited.
yep. And the hijack.
5 calls. C6 folds.
Oliver's gonna raise it up, huh?
I would
Black
imagine.
chips. 150.
Raises to 150.
Okay. Good.
Margaret
C9 folds.
folds.
Liz is never folding
C5 calls.
blackjack pre-flop.
I like Chad's hand.
I
30
like it.
players.
In position.
I like Chad's hand a lot.
See how quickly Oliver bet? Ace king. I think I predict Oliver loses a bunch of chips.
Chad's gonna make it like 900. That's my guess.
I think Chad might get tricky and
Seat 3 calls.
well now he'll raise because Liz is with.
He would have raised either way, I think, just to try to get money in the pot.
Seat 5 raises to 700.
Smaller than I thought, though.
Oliver never folds here,
Seat 3
and I
raises to
think
1700 total.
Liz will get away from it now.
Now you could maybe see Chad get tricky, but he's probably
flatting.
just gonna get. I would just get money in because obviously
so?
Oliver has a big hand right here, you know. Yeah, I'm not surprised that he flatted, but
Right.
I mean Oliver's not bluffing here.
Right, right.
so
Yeah,
just-
he doesn't.
But he could have 3 kings, but more likely he has aces or ace king.
That's all I wanted. Seat 8 bets 1500. Seat 5 calls.
Is Chad playing possum here? Does he think
He
there's
might be
any
worried
chance
he's
that
beat, but there's only
beat?
one hand that beats him that Oliver ever has, you know. So
Right.
really good river. I mean, I think Chad needs to raise the river for value here, just because Oliver's range is like aces, ace king, kings,
Seat 8 bets
king
1500.
queen maybe.
I hope you have ace king. Can I beat ace king? Seat 5 calls. Yeah. That's 2 pairs. I didn't know.
Yeah, he was worried. He wasn't.
King or maybe kings.
He was playing possum, like
Yeah.
you said. He was. No, he wasn't
He
playing possum.
he wasn't.
He was.
He was legitimately worried.
legitimately
about it.
worried.
They're
Yes.
up 15 or 50 and 100. 15. Huge. 50 and 100. Would you mind making a change again, please?
Now we'll see if this is the first time Brandon using the action tracker. We'll see if he gets and he did it. He correctly put up the blinds 50 and 100. Good job.
He's been doing a good job.
Good job,
so far,
Brandon. Yeah, he's rocking this thing. We make it look easy. It's a lot of work and a lot of concentration to run this action
then I know
tracker
I'm
properly,
good. Yeah.
so that
So if you check
you
that river instead of
at
1500,
home
I
can
might make it 3,000
watch.
4,000 or something. Right, it's a different kind of luck, you know, and you lose, but
Better be careful with your job security. If Brian's watching, Brandon's doing a better job than you. might be trouble for Eric.
I'm a fan of Brandon. He was a good addition to the team on Wednesday.
Jacks,
or
ace
on
4 suited,
July.
6 7 suited, king 6 suited, and king queen. A lot of playable hands out here.
Paul hasn't played a hand yet.
First hand he played, but yeah, we haven't
He's
played
got
that many
2
hands.
jacks.
What is this, 6? Hand number 6? Where is it?
seat 3 calls.
I don't know.
Hand number 9.
Hand number 9, okay.
But on a cornfield,
So it's been once around the table.
Yep. Oh, he could have just, I could have just looked at the button and figured it out.
seat 6 folds. I won a bracelet. I had plenty of money to spend. 7 calls. Seat 8 folds. Seat 9 folds.
I would have raised under the gun. He only min raised it.
Brian wasn't too secretive about how bad his hand was before he called.
6 players.
Yeah, you don't want 6 players with Jack unless you flop.
There's an open-ended straight draw, a flush draw, a pair and a flush draw, a nut flush draw,
1 check.
and
2 checks.
jacks.
3 checks. Seat 4 checks.
No way. Oh, okay. He got ahead of himself on the action tracker. Mark did not check,
Okay.
Seat 10 folds.
or maybe he never said he checked. I don't know.
Seat 1 calls.
I thought it checked around that quick.
No. Keith is.
2 calls.
I was gonna say he's gonna play this passively. He's kind of like walk the dog type of player.
I think Liz is gonna see another card now too. What do you think?
6, 7, 8. Yeah, she's open-ended with a pair.
Seat
No.
3 folds. Seat 4 folds.
Probably if she hadn't lost those chips earlier, she might be more inclined to call. Of course, she's got the low end of the straight draw.
Oh,
And she
Mark-
nails it.
And Mark nailed it too. Mark was in. He needed a miracle. I guess he could hit a king or a 5. A 10 makes Paul the bigger straight, and spade makes Keith the bigger flush, and he just nails the 5 of hearts.
Seat 1 calls.
Keith doesn't fold.
No, yeah,
Now it's the nut
especially
draw.
once Paul calls as
Yep.
well.
3 players.
It's black.
Seat
Oh,
1
club.
calls. Seat 2 check. Brian Molesky's the
Mark's gonna bet. They're both gonna fold.
Jacks?
Yeah, he'll be
Depending on what he bets, I think he bets what, 2,000?
Jacks is gonna fold. I think. Paul seems like a really solid player.
He is. 38's too much. I would have said he would have called like half a pot.
Seat 1 fold, seat 2 fold. I think that's the same bet. You're like saying me, I'm top. Yeah.
Beats me into the pot calls. And we had a history. He has king queen. Couldn't wait. I had a tighter
Mark is the only one over 200 big blinds.
ace on the turn.
That is one good thing about this is that it's recorded and all the cards are shown, so it's a good opportunity to...
It was a miracle turn card for him there, and then no spade on the river to avoid getting cooler.
Have been recorded. There have been a few that haven't. Yeah. Actually, the one that I made at Ho-Chunk in season 4.
Multiple conversations going on at the table.
Yeah. Which will happen if you've got Ryan and
He won, but
Hammers, Chad, all very talkative.
6 fold. Seat 7 fold.
Joe's do seem slightly nervous. They haven't been too outspoken.
they haven't talked a lot. I think they're doing more of the whispering between themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they're a little intimidated by these guys. You know, the WSOP bracelet winner, the 2-time MSPT champ, the player of the year, you know, all the titles that these guys hold.
Kirby has that intimidating look too.
Yes.
Seat 10 bets 175. Seat 1 fold. Seat 8 fold.
Oh. Matt's referencing the time we were in Iowa and one of the players kept bringing his phone out and Brian came and took it away from him. And, you know, since we're broadcasting, we don't allow electronics at the final table, and the guy was sneaking to look at his phone like he's in high school or something. And Brian called him out on it and went and took his phone, and the guy threw a fit. You know, it was a young kid. He was like early 20s. And he was like, "You can't take my phone." And Brian's like, "Well, you can leave, or I can take your phone. Your choice." And so he got mad, and he was really upset and vocal. And like a month later, everything was cool, and he was our best friend again. So
Who
I
was
think
that?
he
Do
was
you
just
remember?
upset for a while.
You don't remember his name?
I don't remember his name.
I can't beat a flush.
It's been a lot of little suited connector type hands so far.
I got a flush, but I can't beat a flush.
Seat 3 calls. Seat 4 folds. Seat 5 folds.
If you're watching on Twitch, you can leave some comments in our Twitch chat. We're following along with that. Run Like Waz just said, LFG Paul.
Oh yeah, I was gonna pull up the Twitch so you could see it, but I'm glad you did that. I forgot about that.
275 is the bet.
My brother's got debt, you know.
Seat 10 calls. Seat 1 folds. Seat 2 calls. Seat 3 folds.
I think Paul played those jacks pretty well.
I think he did. I would have possibly raised more than a min-raise pre-flop. Under the gun, what, like 400 maybe?
Yeah, what do you make it, 250?
200 flat.
Oh, yeah.
Seat 2 check.
Oliver raised pre-flop, and he flops the best hand. Let's see if he's gun shy. Nope, he's not gun shy. I was gonna say,
because of the last time he had
yeah,
top pair and
I was
lost.
gonna say last time he had the ace king on a king high flop and got his hand spanked with it. But it's gonna work out for him this time.
Seat 7 folds.
You got 2 pair again?
A pair already, so
Oh, okay.
2 cards. A pair of cards, he said.
Okay. I thought he was asking Hodge if he had 2 pair. Because last time he flopped the king, he got beat by 2 pair.
Yeah. Luckily for him, that was a less coordinated board.
Unexpected.
After those 2 coolers, Margaret's down to 4,000 chips, but that's still 40 blinds, so she's not in any trouble at
Yeah, she's all right now. It'll catch up to her soon, but maybe by then she'll get a double up.
all. Right.
We'll see how things play out.
It was like we didn't even know we could play with them until a week before, so it wasn't like that.
Oh, Chad wakes up with the aces. Under the gun +1. Unfortunately, I was going to say nobody has anything, but that's not going to stop these guys.
Too bad they're not playing the deuce 7 bluff game, and
then
Mark could get involved.
Yep.
Try to bluff into Chad's aces. That'd be fun to watch.
We've got Keith and Liz in the blinds with a king. I think Liz defends.
Yeah, Liz will call. I think that'll be it, though. She might not even. Just heads up. I don't know if she'd rather play multi-way pots or heads-up pots. What her preference is.
C3 calls. Yeah, that's true. 2 players.
So Margaret's husband,
Al.
he didn't have her win the seat and then take it back for himself.
No.
All right, thanks for winning it. I'll play now.
Yeah, all right, appreciate it.
He let her finish what she started. That's
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Now Liz hit enough of it to call. She's going to check call. Looking for a king or a 7. And it looks like everything's gone except for 1 king.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yeah, the king was folded.
she nailed the single king. Way to hit the 1-outer.
She's going to get Chad for a little pot here.
9-3 ace.
Oh, just with the call. Chad's going to value bet the river
Yes,
here.
he's-
Probably no matter what it is, even if it's a club.
Oh, it's the...
It gives him aces
Yes.
and 3s, so that's a terrible card for Liz.
Yep.
But she's not going to be able to get away, I don't think.
Yeah, 3 pairs.
C5 bets 1,500. C3 is called. I got lucky.
What a turn and what a river.
5 change.
What a fun game we play.
A name for you just now. I heard it. She's right. You're correct.
Thank you, Xandermander02. Blake has 350K, he said, referencing what we talked about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. Probably said that before I ever looked it up.
Yep. He said it now, listening to what
Oh,
we
yeah,
said 15
right,
minutes
exactly,
ago.
yeah.
And Cash 229 says WTF. I wonder which hand he's playing with.
Yeah, I didn't think. I thought you had just
I don't-
maybe the king.
Oh, Hodge is hitting the straight draw on the turn.
Yeah, in hindsight for sure.
Huggo Donger says belly roll shot.
C5 folds. C6 folds. C7 folds. C8 folds. C9 folds. C10 goes all out. C10
Keith with the 3s. He's just going to call. You won't see him get out of line like Liz did with her 2s. Not out of line, but he won't play it as aggressively as Liz played her 2s.
players.
Hey, either way is fine.
Kirby checked.
Yep.
Paul hits the open ender.
C4 check.
If he bets,
C2 check.
I think he gets away with it, but he doesn't.
He knew he was going to make the nuts on the turn. He didn't want people
Bing.
to fold.
C3 check. C4 check. C1. That's 150.
We started down in chips, and then he got the chip
C2 call.
That's, I didn't expect Keith to call there.
We have some non-believers at this table.
Yep. They don't know Paul doesn't bluff.
3 calls. C4 folds.
Liz needs the case 8 here to...
Yeah.
3 players.
I think the case 8 was the 8 of clubs. Nothing.
C3 check.
It hits a flush draw. I bet you Paul checks behind. Nope, I'm wrong.
I think it would be a mistake to check. But, you know.
C1
Yeah, I think he's just afraid of the diamonds, and when it checks around, he knows he's good, and he slams his cards down, mad that he didn't value bet.
Yeah, there was no action on the flop.
Right.
Unlikely someone has a diamond flush draw, but
Oh,
Yep.
yep.
I am.
Yeah, sure, with all my chips. Told him, didn't
I would have if you.
We're all in different areas. I would have picked her up if she hadn't had a ride down. Who traveled the furthest out of the? Between him
Canada.
and me, 'cause he's north of the world.
Oliver came down from Canada.
You guys playing qualifiers?
Oh,
Canterbury
also,
was the first card room I've ever played at. You only have to be 18. And Wisconsin.
I'll let Chad talk about his
7 fold,
We drove
venture
up
to Canterbury when he was 18.
seat 9 fold,
I'm gonna be 35 on Monday.
10 fold,
Happy birthday, Chad, on Monday.
seat 2 call.
Everybody that plays in the MSPT 114 this weekend, remember to tell Chad happy birthday Monday. What I was going to say is the top 3 of these 10 get paid, 2,500, 1,500, and 1,000, 50%, 30%, 20%. And Brian Molesky is offering a $250 satellite seat to the last Joe standing.
okay,
So that's
cool.
just a little bonus that he threw in there for them.
It makes for an interesting dynamic once it gets down to 2 Joes. You
Yeah.
know, they could be playing for that extra 250 instead of doing anything else.
Right, instead of playing for the...
Chad fires a little bluff at this one, but
Keith will
Unfortunately,
not
Keith
fold an
flopped
ace.
top
He's
pair, yeah.
got top pair. He's not going to fold. Chad's going to shut down afterwards, so it's going to be fine. He's not going to lose anything, unless it comes running 7s or 7 queen.
yeah, make sure and tell Chad happy birthday and buy him a birthday shot. Let's see how interesting the live reporting gets as the
Round of Kimosabi's.
tournament goes on. Yeah.
Oh,
Shot of
speaking of Kimosabi, after
Kimosabi.
this hand, remind me to tell you a story.
Add one though?
Seat 5 fold.
Keith shows him I had the ace. Worried about my kicker, he says. Okay, so the story I was going to tell yesterday, Wednesday at Canterbury is a huge satellite day because Wednesday is their normal weekly big tournament.
Yeah, when
so
a lot of
everybody
people
comes in
show
to
up,
play
right.
for their. I think they have a weekly 235 here, and so people randomly show up expecting to play the 235 and go, oh, there's a satellite tonight. So Judd, who is a Kimosabi rep, and Kimosabi is a MSPT sponsor, Player of the Year sponsor. So Judd asked me what the line is. A lot of people always ask me, what do you expect and how many do you think you'll get? And so I had him set the line. He said 150, and I said, okay, I'll take the over on 149.5. And the deal was the loser bought $100 worth of Kimosabi drinks for the satellite players that night. And luckily for me, we hit 154. So we, after break, he ordered up $100 of Kimosabi, and it was a good time.
That's a great bet for you guys. Either someone loses 100 to the drinks, either way, and no one wins anything.
Either way,
Good idea.
and the players win.
The players win.
Who,
yes,
who won the bet? The players.
That's how they do it here on the MSPT tour. The
So-
players are the winners.
I know, but I just don't know the system. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know that.
3 players.
What's Chad talking about? He doesn't know what system.
I don't know.
Okay.
Something with the.
Seat 5 checks, seat 8 bets.
Ryan's
fold.
played just about every hand.
Which is uncharacteristic.
Yeah, he's
of
usually
Ryan.
pretty tight. He's been splashing around.
Seat 10
What's-
calls, seat 5
Ryan's
fold.
VPIP is 42, so just under half the hands.
2 players.
Margaret's down to 14. She
Yeah,
she played those first couple of coolers
yeah,
and
she
then
took those
settled
hits
down.
early on, and then
Yep.
It happens, but had worse things happen. Worse things can happen in life.
That's exactly right, right? A bad day of poker is better than a lot
Oliver's
of other days,
he would look aggressive to the outside view, but he's had hands. You know, if you didn't know his cards.
Right.
Doesn't matter when Ryan has the nut low hand.
Yep.
Ryan needed a diamond or a 5 on the turn to continue there.
Blinds are up. We're at 100, 200. After this 20-minute level, we will be on a 10-minute break. Let the players regroup. It'll be interesting to see who comes back after the break, who's got friends watching this. That'll tell them something on the break.
Got Camara going in fantasy football. I just got a notification that he was taken to the locker room with an injury.
Oh no, that's probably bad.
Yeah, Mo told me, you won the league, don't worry, you got Camara. And I said, stop it before you moose me, Mo. And then this happens, not shockingly.
5 calls, 6 folds.
Mark's gonna bump this up from the big blind with ace queen. I was gonna say 1,000. And I think he realizes that these recreational players will call more than, they'll call lighter than you would normally expect. And she let go of her ace. And Chad's gonna, you know, snap fold his queen, queen high from the button.
It's been all smooth sailing for Mark so far.
Yeah, that's why he's player of the year. Easy game.
Well, I played this a lot.
Chopper's coming back in.
This year not as much. So once I started playing it, started having a little bit of success. I really liked it. And I enjoy traveling like Iowa and Milwaukee. So yeah.
Poker Sniper watching. He'll be here playing satellites. Oh, and Mark again wakes up with the queen, and this time Ryan has the ace Q. We got pocket threes for Chad. I think it'll get out of line before he. Oh no, Mark's got queens in the small blind. I got to learn how to watch this. Chad's gonna come along, I think, with the threes for the first.
Ryan
yeah.
made it 550. Is it up to 1 and 200 now? Yeah.
It's at 100, 200.
Yeah, Mark's gonna re-raise, and I think Ryan will get away.
Yes. See now the dynamic. He's gonna raise smaller now since he's playing against the veterans, the pros.
And he's got a better hand, so
he's not afraid of a flop.
Right, he's not afraid of getting called.
1,200 might be too
No,
much.
more than that. It's from 550. He's gonna go 18, 19.
Oh.
7 raise to 1975.
You're so good at this game.
1250.
I forgot that it was a 550
Ryan,
raise.
Yeah, 1250 would have been too small.
Yeah.
Brandon, failure, 2K. He must have put it before the dealer counted it. He tried to estimate it himself.
Oh, you know what it's doing? It's rounding.
1975.
It's rounding it.
Does it round it because there's no 75 in play at the final table usually? Because there's no quarter chips in play at the final table.
Yeah,
usually.
we've got the 550 showing up, but as a 25, it'll round up.
That's weird.
I'm gonna
Ryan
go with.
would have got there.
I'm gonna go with Brandon did it correctly, and the software rounded it.
Sorry I ever doubted you. Great job. I wouldn't want to be running that action tracker. I'm
No, you got to concentrate.
technologically ignorant.
See, and Mark's afraid of the ace? Question
Yeah,
mark?
I mean, this
and
is
just check it down.
Yeah, he's happy to get to the river. He knows he's gonna win when it
Yep.
checks all the way down, though.
Yep.
Card rack, Mark Hodge. He's playing his hands well, also, though.
Where's he been? He lives only 18 miles from me, and I talk to him all the time. But yeah, Eric said he was
You are here.
1, 6, and 11, 12. Right. We'll see. I would one base queen.
Small blind here. Action will start here. C10 fold, C1 fold.
Was that the 11?
C2 call.
At 9 to 1.
C3 fold, C4 folds, 5 fold.
What's the next blind level after 1 and 2? Does it go 153 or 2-4?
It's going to go 25, 100, 200.
Okay, so it's not a terrible structure.
It's not terrible.
It's not the main event
It
structure,
is not
but
chainsaw approved, but it's not terrible. It goes 25, 100, 200, then 50, 200, 400, 75, 300, 600. We take another break.
skip a couple. Okay, but not the worst.
And
Right.
2 call.
Really good at 22 to 1 and 11 to 1.
Hammer's min raised over the limp there. Maybe just trying to get heads up against Keith, but that
Keith loves
didn't work
this
as Mark
flop.
came along with the 7-8 and flops top pair. Keith's got 2 overs and a flush draw. He's going to be the favorite here.
The 10,
C7 bet 600.
Probably just call with the Jack 9 of clubs
Yes,
here, right?
yes,
That's how we
Keith-
saw him play his nut flush draw earlier.
Yep.
who's the 10? Did I miss him or?
He's
C6 fold.
I wouldn't have had the 10. He went down to 5. That means someone else saw what I saw. Yeah. I mean, the 11,
C2 check.
if we were playing what if,
probably 5 to 1.
Tom would have hit his king.
They were bets for it. It's like betting
Queen 10 he had, right? Queen
Oh,
10?
he had queen 10?
I
thought
think
he had
so.
king something. I'm not paying attention properly, I suppose.
Could have pretended like he hit a king, though, maybe.
Husband on the
Yeah,
rail?
Keith misses another
You
one.
play poker too?
C2 check.
Funny thing is,
Yeah, he missed 2 flush draws now. That's unfortunate.
Show it.
so yeah, he does.
Jack high. Showing
He
fours
says,
and
"Thought
7.
everything I
I
thought
don't
was
want
right."
black.
I do. Wrong.
He taught you too well then.
I should have checked.
Betting against the what? Ryan?
That ain't against the Chicago Bulls.
On the turn?
Every
I
quarter.
don't know how much I bet again.
I followed not on the turn, but on 3 and 18.
On the river, yeah.
They just almost beat the Pacers when they were
I was thinking about betting when the 4 came,
You know, go ahead and look. The only time, the only one, the fourth quarter.
It's Heather MCG says, I see my grandpa.
Time, you know. But they're losing every quarter by like half.
So, is her grandpa Oliver?
It's,
Or
no, yeah, he retired like last year or 2 ago.
MCG?
I guess that's
What are
it.
their last names? Mick something? Anybody?
No.
C2 folds, 3 folds.
Goal and a half every game.
4 folds.
Flyers have won 10 games straight.
C5 raises to 5.
Oliver Loringer from Canada.
6 fold.
But that's, I think, the only grandpa.
How far a drive was it from where he's from in Canada, you know?
I would guess 6 hours.
Yeah, that's not so
Because
bad.
it's 4 hours for me to Bemidji, and then a couple more hours up to Canada.
Yeah, I was like almost 5 hours to get here from south central Wisconsin, so.
3 players.
Margaret has a suited king in the big blind, or small blind rather.
5 bet 700.
Chad's going to represent the ace to get rid of Mark. It won't work.
Calls. 9 folds, heads up.
Does he fire a second bullet?
5 check.
No. Would have worked, I think.
I would think Mark would check here, but it looks like he's going to bet. Okay, yeah, he checked. All right. I think he should be happy with 9s to get to the river.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about protecting his hand against a hand like Chad has of Queen 10, but
7 check.
if you bet, you're only going to call by a better hand.
Defense, you know. Doesn't even let up a touchdown. You know, like, which is so ridiculous. They let up a field goal. You know, you got that much play. It's just Clemson just
Who's Ryan talking to?
one of the best.
Anybody who will listen. I think Kirby though. They're talking about
Okay.
they're talking about the college football playoffs, the point spreads, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sitting there thinking about what I was gonna do.
And Kirby's hiding behind his glasses and beard, so I didn't see anybody. Look at
Chad
this.
said he could have got it done with a second bullet there, but I've seen Mark make some good calls in the past, and I am not sure he would have went away so easily just to another bullet there.
And Mark's got a huge chip sack. He's got double second place, which is Kirby.
He's almost got 3 starting stacks already, and this thing just started.
He's been running well and playing well.
For anybody who doesn't know, this is pros versus Joes on the MSPT. Eric runs a bar league throughout the year, and 5 Joes qualified to play in this sit and go against 5 pros. The pros are Ryan Hartman
in the 10
seat, Mark Hodge in the 7, Tom Hammers in the 6, Matt Kirby in the 4, and then
That's all. Oh, Chad Holloway.
yeah, Chad Holloway.
Chad Holloway between Tom and
Oh, yep, Chad.
Matt.
I skipped over Chad in the 5. It's hard to
The
think of him as-
WSOP bracelet winner, Chad Holloway,
yeah.
professional poker player.
Good flop for the King 10.
How does that happen?
2 checks.
Not much going for anybody else.
No.
At the 3, that's 200. C4
So Liz needs to not hit an ace here.
folds.
I like her aggression.
It's good. It's good in this hand. It's gonna work up. It's gonna work out well for her. The only hand she's gonna get called by, she has beat, and he's drawing. She just really doesn't want an. If an ace comes, she's gonna be in
9,
trouble.
10, king, ace.
Any small card is good for her. There you go. That would have been a big card for who was it? Tom that had the 9-7 of diamonds. Someone had 9-7 of diamonds. I'm not sure who it was, but they would have been seeing another card if they got to this point.
See, here's
Oh, that's it for Liz.
he gets the nuts on the river.
And he traps her. He's gonna
Yep,
check raise all
that's-
in, and she's gonna call.
C3 bets 700.
And he
Not before doing a little bit of Hollywooding
He's
with the
acting.
nuts. She bet 700 with only 1,000 left, so this Hollywood act
Yep.
probably isn't that
it's
necessary.
not necessary.
But
He's gonna get all the chips. She bet with 2,000 in the pot. She
wow, he didn't realize that he made the straight, I guess.
No, Keith. You know how bad I'm gonna tease you?
I'm sure we've all misread our hand before. It happens.
Oh wow.
It happens. Okay, so that is a very fortunate turn of events for Liz. She was going to be out of the tournament, and now
She's got
she
18
won the
big
pot, and
blinds.
she's back in there. Yeah.
I survived on the shortest stack for the longest time.
What I mean, that's a
don't-
hard hand to misread because you were on the straight
Yeah,
draw.
and then you
were
nailed
looking
it.
for an ace or a 9, you know. But
The edge in this, and it's sitting right down
is there any chance the card reader was off or no?
here. We had a shootout one year, and
I tested this deck before we played, so the deck is good. I don't see. That's the only thing that makes sense is the cards not or the table's not working. But
Margaret's gonna get back involved here now. She hasn't been involved for a while, but the King 10 of clubs,
King 10,
she's gonna see a flop,
yeah.
right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. That's the best hand she's had for a long time.
Yeah.
She started
and,
out with
and
it.
I honestly, you know,
here's a fun story. Tangibly is related to. So remember, you know, the field.
in the Bagley Tavern, the King 10 suited plays really well.
So when he won the WSOP circuit, chalked up
Ryan's got 2 face cards.
At the World Series of Poker or in the Canterbury MSPT, anywhere the King 10 suited plays really well. It's a good hand. Good hand to see a flop with.
and TSA stopped him because he had the $200,000 in cash that he won. And so he missed the flight to get here.
I think Liz is gonna bet and win this pot. She's shown aggression in spots like this before.
Yes.
It should work for her.
She might give fits to some of these guys like
C3 bets
Hartman, who wants to try to represent but doesn't know what to do.
And I think she looked pretty strong when she bet that too. She didn't give away any weakness.
She wasn't afraid
I'm
of
impressed.
anything.
Yeah.
Good job, Liz.
Just asking to get murdered and robbed.
Who's in the booth? MSPT Eric and 13 ring winner Josh Reichert.
No, not 13.
Not 13?
No.
Is that an exaggeration?
That was a slight exaggeration.
Was it 7?
8.
8.
Yep.
Right. And so
What was
he
it?
actually sent me
What were we talking about?
there's no limit when you're
The
down
most
domestically.
third
But
places
they can ask
finishes or something
In
like that?
WSOP, I'm at second most in WSOP history for third place
Third place
finishes.
finishes.
Yeah. With, maybe I have 9, and Min Win has 11 or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm going to try not to get any more third places, though. We're going to try to do better than that. But none of those rings mean as much as the MSPT bracelet. You know, those are a lot harder to come by. They don't even give them out anymore.
No. He had to have won one already. Oh, remind me to talk about after this hand. This is going to be a big hand. Ace
Yeah,
Jack
lot of
5-5,
hands.
Ace Jack 3-3, King Queen.
You think Liz might get aggressive with the...
She's
She's happy to see a flop.
yep.
She's been unpredictable, so you know you don't know if she was gonna re-raise there or just see a flop. I think both options are fine.
I agree.
There was 16, 1700 in dead money out there in front of her that she could have just tried to pick up by shoving. Realistically, with what she had, but playing it conservatively is perfectly fine too. She's got to get away from it now, though, and this is nothing for her on this board. That's one thing that the amateur players sometimes have a really tough time just giving up on hands, but sometimes it's time to just let it go when you don't have anything working.
It's no fun to fold. Now, if they're paying attention, Paul hasn't played a hand yet. I think he played his jacks.
Mhm.
He's played one hand out of 22.
She could bluff him now, but
Paul's VPIP is 19.
it's very reasonable that she could have a 9. The way she bemoaned just getting the chips and then having to call the flop here. A 9 is a lot of what she has, so I like the play by here.
Certainly one of the most
She's got to follow through on it on the river, though, if she's going to take this turn action. Now she's kind of...
Let's go about 5 minutes of it. All they could talk about was how Tom Hammers is old for the ball.
Get some Fireball whiskey and Tom Hammers.
C3 check.
Yeah, we're just waiting.
C1 checks. C1 shows 2 pairs.
I'm gonna be like a big plenty.
Well, it was a good try on the turn, and then she just wanted to keep...
Tom Hammers should
make
be
sure she kept herself in the tournament.
Just the baddest beat. He should be an MSPT champ too when his aces got cracked by jacks or something, 3-handed.
Hammers. Yep, I was at that final table with Tom Hammers.
It was Ho-Chunk.
No, it was Meskwaki.
That's what I
Yep.
meant. Sorry.
Yep.
Meskwaki, Iowa.
Who was it that cracked his hand? Was it Ken Camberra?
I would never
No.
say anything like this. Like,
Was it
I would never
Ken?
say that Tom bubbled the last MSPT Meskwaki in 11th place.
Don't think it was Ken.
Who else
It
won
was like
it?
the
MSPT.
4-6 or the 6 seed or something like that.
It wasn't Carter, was it?
No, it wasn't Carter. It was earlier than that.
Cracked by
Yeah.
jacks, 3-handed.
Let's go see who won that tournament.
It was
I
Meskwaki.
think it might have been Ken Camberra.
5 folds.
We got a break in
Was
1
that?
minute.
It wasn't 100. It was
Everybody survived the
MSPT
first 3 rounds.
93.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, MSPT. Yeah, it was Ken. You're right. MSPT 93. Ken
Yeah,
got
because that
third place.
then
You got
that hand
fourth
gave
place.
that hand gave Ken a stranglehold on the tournament,
Yep.
and it would have done the same for Tom had he held with his aces.
Calls, C2 folds, C3 calls, C4 checks.
This is the last hand before break.
3 players.
25-year-old kid, 65-year-old guy comes up and says, "Blam, blam." Everyone's, what's going on? You know, they had no idea that
C3
he
checks,
beat down this girl's
C4,
legs.
that's
She was
300.
starved, didn't tell.
300. C1 calls?
Kirby's gonna get a little action here from the ace-9. Ace-9's a pretty strong hand on this board. You gotta at least see another card. Kirby will probably go check all the way to the river
the
here.
flush hits.
The river will go check too. I think he's just gonna, his ace-9, he's just gonna hope it's good. Oh, now Kirby hit 2 pair. Okay, he still checks, but
Yeah.
Show and 2 pairs.
Oh,
jacks
and I
up.
pimped Kirby on the river, too.
And they pimp Kirby on the river. All right, excellent. We'll see
All
you
right,
guys in
off the
10
break.
minutes.
What I got from Parliament Light, it was one per household, but they only sent out one. I had it sent to other people's house. It's a Bluetooth.
If Mark starts spreading the chips around, we'll all stay for a while.
Okay. You got 25 ante now, guys?
If it folds around, if everyone folds for you and you go all in dark, I'll call you dark. But I'll be
Service,
watching to make sure
guys.
you don't look. I don't think you'll do it. I have like 13.5. Oh, quick break. You'd have some left over.
And we are back. Antes are in play now. 25 ante, 100, 200 blind still.
Seat 6 folds. Seat 7 folds. Seat 8 folds. Seat 9 folds.
Jack 10 suited, pocket 10s, couple playable hands. Ryan, you think he's gonna raise or limp? Okay, that answers that question.
Raises to 625.
Do you think Chad's gonna call or 3-bet from the big blind?
Seat 2
If
folds.
nobody comes with, I think he 3-bets.
I haven't won a hand.
I hear ya.
You really can't blame me.
You don't want to just take
The
a
worst
lines and
player
antes though, do
I've
you?
seen. You can call. I believe
1500.
I need chips. I
I want to see a flop.
Just a call.
Just called, okay.
Quarter, if that makes it any easier.
I think if he did 3-bet, it would have been on the bigger side. Usually when you're out of position, you make it a little bit bigger than versus when you're in position.
That's a good flop for both players.
Seat 5 check.
Oh, you have more than me.
Ryan's got the gut shot and the
Yeah,
flush draw.
This is probably gonna...
Worse on the turn, and I have no idea where I'm at on the river ever. You know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the old lady to me.
Which is
Just like
jam or check it.
we only have one play.
Alright.
Call.
And it's a call.
Goes all
I
in.
think I probably will. I have an overpair.
Ring it then.
Seat 5 calls.
Alright,
Jack.
Ryan shoves a
Or
large
heart.
amount.
Come on,
And
I gotta
Chad
say,
called
like,
with
Jack
10s.
8 or a heart. I need to win this.
Ryan, based
I
off the
need
cards that
to
were
just
folded,
turn-
Ryan's
turn 'em
62%.
Not dead. They're not dead.
Very good
10 and
turn.
9.
Ryan makes. Let's see a straight flush for Ryan. I'm not rooting against Chad, but I'm rooting for a straight flush to be made.
Boom. You wanna mess with me? That's what you get. 3 and 4.
That's a big pot.
Here,
59,
count 'em out right.
5,000,
49.
49, 100 back.
Clinic is on now.
And we thought we left Joel
So there was what was in that pot? Maybe 1500, and Ryan shoved, well, maybe like 4.5K or something. That
He
was a
made
big
6,
shove.
right?
Yeah, 6 1/4, I think he made it, and Chad called pre-flop, so
13,
that was 1250, and the
1500.
antes, yeah.
Yeah.
He shoved for like 3x pot-ish, maybe. Pretty big shove.
I could have got a little more aggressive pre.
Very good. We'd rather play for less.
200 times.
Couple suited aces, pocket pair.
Seat 7 folds. 10 folds. Seat 1 folds. Seat 2 folds. 200. Seat 3 calls. Seat 4
Both the
folds.
suited aces folded pretty quickly. Maybe now that the blinds are a little bigger, there's ante started, they're not going to be as loose.
I think Ryan had something to do because
Oh,
he just
yeah.
folded
Yeah,
and
you're
left.
Three players.
Ryan just won his big pot and he went somewhere to celebrate.
Yeah.
He'll be back.
Seat 5 checks. Seat 6.
Liz calls with the old 10-7 in the cutoff and gets the best hand.
Seat 3 bets 200.
I think Chad's going to peel off 200 here. For the possibility that he has the best hand, and also he has 2 outs to a full house if not.
Seat 6 folds.
Hammers has been awfully quiet, hasn't he?
He has been really quiet.
Uncharacteristic of him.
Seat 5 checks. Seat 3 checks. Seat 5 checks. Seat 3 checks.
Winner, winner.
This is a fun table. It almost has like a home game type feel to it. A lot of action and fun. Everybody laughing and talking. Nobody taking it too seriously,
Right.
which makes for a good atmosphere at the poker table.
Yep. The
Gave him some to live.
somebody asked me what the payout was. One of the new people in Twitch. What these guys did, the recreational players won a $1,000 package, which includes the $500 buy-in, and the rest was cash to help them. All of the pros bought themselves in. The payout is 50%, 30%, 20%, which is $2,500 for first, $1,500 for second, and $1,000 for third. Plus, the last Joe standing gets a $250 satellite seat from Brian Molesky, courtesy of Brian, to play tomorrow. And he said it's non-transferable. You have to play it. They can't sell it. They have to play in the satellite tomorrow.
That's cool. I mean, get him in there.
Yep.
Get him in action. That was real nice of Brian to do that.
Seat 6 folds. 7 seat checks is out.
Where's Brian? What do you have going on
3
tonight?
players.
If I had to guess, he's at a ball game watching his kids swing a bat somewhere.
Seat 7 checks.
A 10 would be bad news for Paul. It would give Chad the king high straight and him the queen high straight.
Nobody's got a diamond.
Yeah,
Everybody's sitting with black cards.
Whoever tries to win this one will.
Yeah. I'm going with Chad on the button.
Seat 7 checks.
I like it. Paul,
Yes.
taking the initiative.
600.
I think he probably talked to somebody on the break who said
5
loosen up.
folds. Seat 7 folds.
Good job, Paul. Way to win with the best hand. Still 10 players.
Yep.
Level 4.
We're an hour and 20 minutes in.
VPIP, Liz, way up. VPIP voluntarily puts it in pre-flop, 57%. She doesn't like to fold. Margaret, she's down to 15%, which is lower than I would think she would be. But I think when she lost those couple of big pots early, it kind of slowed her down and
Yep.
lowered her VPIP there.
She came in ready to battle, and then things didn't go well, and now she's grinding it out.
Good strategy.
Folds.
Yeah. She just got unfortunate. She had top pair of the one hand against aces. It's a tough situation.
Seat 1 calls. Seat 2 folds. Seat 3 calls. Seat 4 folds. Seat 5 folds.
Poker Sniper said
6 folds.
he played the satellite last Friday, got through, and is playing 1B
8 checks is out.
tomorrow, Saturday.
Who's that?
Poker Sniper on
4
Twitter.
players.
What are the chances you have an iPhone charger?
Very good.
Yes, because that's what I need. I'm at 2%. I can't breathe right now.
Seat 3 check.
We both need a charger. I'm at half of 2%.
Seat 7 checks. Seat 8 checks. Seat 1 checks. Seat 3 checks. Seat 7 checks.
Paul with the king high. Anybody who looks at this pot's gonna win it, but everybody's scared. Liz,
Seat 3
bet
bet
the
600.
bet the 5 high, Liz.
Yes, I love it. When you can't win,
Seat 8 folds.
make it happen.
Have you asked yourself, will he fold if I bet?
Seat 1.
Yes.
Come back up.
Charging?
I am not charging.
No.
Are you charging?
I am.
Did you give me the bad one? I'm charging now.
I'm charging also.
Call out their name if they want to. Yeah, that's what that is.
DJ before he had heart. DJ would have like.
I'll make change if you fold or how it is.
He used to buy into an $1,100 event. You know, I'll give that to DJ. DJ has heart.
You are here, yep.
There aren't many players that very few.
Yeah, that'll solve it too.
Not beg people to buy seats or anything.
Seat 10 folds. Seat 1 folds. Seat 2 folds. Seat 3 calls. Seat 4 folds. 10.
Not a lot going on now.
5 calls. Seat 6 folds.
Things have tightened up after the break, it seems.
The Andy came in.
Yeah, well, that usually means things should loosen up, but
Seat 6 is called, or, yeah, called.
5 called, 6 folds.
5 called, 6 is folded, 7 made it 850. Sorry.
8 fold.
8 has folded. 9 folds. Seat 3 folds.
She does not like folding.
Seat 5 calls.
I think it physically hurt her to fold the king 9 right there.
who does like
Two
folding?
ways.
Check in the dark.
With the dark check. Seats 5 has checked.
Nice flop for Chad.
Seat 7 bets 800.
Top pair for Mark.
Good
Nut
flop
flush
for
draw.
everybody. Chad might check raise and commit himself.
Seat 5 calls.
Taking the more conservative approach. And the dark check
Seat
on the
5
turn.
is checked, third.
And making the nuts. You have a club, Mark. The 10.
Look at Chad smirking. He's like, I'm gonna get paid.
Please bet, please bet, please bet, please bet. Oh,
Seat 7. That's
All in.
8,000. Seat 5 is called.
I need either a big hand or
Deal, double, jiggle. 5. Steel wheel.
Seat 7 bet 8,000. Seat 5 is all in.
that would have been a great opportunity for Chad to slow roll,
Yeah,
Mark.
Give me 6,000. I was just waiting.
He
on
snap
you
called.
before
I would have as well.
Good. 125 back off 587.
This guy, and he's like 97 and 2.
That's just how Chad envisioned that happening. Checking dark, making the nuts, and then having
Mark's up, man.
having
I
Mark
love
shove.
You got a lot of them from me.
I know you are.
Mark and I like to talk.
I get that.
Mark and I like to talk movies. That's our stuff. We both go to the theater a lot.
Always got the best man pots, and even if you got a better hand, you extract it.
Fun fact, and I don't mean this to rub salt in it, anyway. No, but he was player of the year and did it without, he didn't win any of the events, which is impressive, to just means consistency. Mark.
You know that one guy who ate him and who he is.
Actually, from seasons 4 to 5, if I'm not mistaken, Eric can correct me if he's listening, the POY winners were all people who didn't win another event. And then
Season 4 was,
well, actually,
excuse me, Season 4 was Pat Steele. Season 5 was, I was just going to say it, and then I had a brain hiccup. Out of Michigan, though. I'm spacing on it. Yeah, but none of them won a tournament when they got Player of the Year. And then Rich Elsa in Season 7 did win.
Was it Zarlinga?
Nope.
Or Lamphere?
Nope.
You said out of Michigan?
He was out of Michigan.
Oh, Pat Steele.
Nope, the next year.
Oh, another Michigan
Was
guy.
also out of Michigan. Yeah, we were huge Michigan in 2013, 2014. When the first time we went to Firekeepers.
Was it that kid with the last name Deese?
Yes, Mike Dice.
Mike Dice?
Yes. And I was going to say it, and then I forgot it. And Tom with the 8 and the A.
Seat 3 has folded.
Keith's going to see the flop with the Jack 10 against Hammer's big raise to 1.1K.
Yeah.
Flop top pair,
he's in
bad
trouble.
news. He can always get there. 20% still.
He can. But
4 outs because
I
one of the
think
10s was folded.
Keith will also find a fold button here where Liz would not have.
It's going to be harder. I mean, he's not going to fold very
No,
easily.
not right away.
Maybe if
but
there's a
If
good turn card for him or something.
If Tom gets out of line with his betting. Oh,
So even though Tom's hand improved, that's a terrible card for him.
because now he's not going to get paid.
No action. He's probably going to check.
That was a great card for Keith. It's hard to give him a free card on the. When I'm playing, I always put somebody on a flush draw.
Well, the draw.
Seat 6 is all
Okay,
in.
he must be protecting his hand too.
Seat 2 is
The draw, like the spade draw that was on the flop, you have the.
The blocker.
Yeah, you have the ace of spades.
I'm going
So
to play a quick game with Margaret. If you heard this, anybody has heard this before, don't say anything.
takes away
So
some
you
of the
and I
flush
for
draws you could have.
now. Right, just humor me. Think of a number in your head between 1 and 5. Got it? Now multiply it by 9. I'll take a makers and diet, please.
Chad loves this game in the
Got it?
bars.
Now take the 2 digits and add them together. Got it? Now subtract 5 from that number. Alright, so now you got your number. If your number's 1, it equals the letter A. If it's 2, it's B. If it's 3, it's C. If it's 4, it's D. If it's 5, it's E, and so on and so forth. You got your letter? Now think of a country in the world that starts with that letter. Got it? Now take the last letter of that country and think of an animal that starts with that letter.
Seat 2 folds. Seat 3 folds.
Liz not interested
4
in
folds.
Chad's game. She said, "Thank God you picked Margaret and not me." It's always going to come out to the same animal, almost always,
Yes.
right?
Got
Yes.
your,
Because-
your animal?
The letter's always going to be.
Okay, I got your done.
The number's always gonna
I'll
be
take
9.
the last letter of that animal and think of a fruit.
You're going to
that starts
subtract
with
5. It's always going to be 4. The letter's going to be D.
that.
It'll almost always be Denmark.
Seat 9
Denmark
folds.
ends with K. You're going to pick kangaroo. Kangaroo ends with O. You're going to pick orange.
Well, so you must be thinking about a kangaroo eating an orange in Denmark.
Chad's a genius. He
I
looks.
learned that
It's
watching
when
Poker After Dark. Doyle Brunson did that to Phil Ivey.
I did that to my niece last week, and she said no. She is the 1% that picked the Dominican Republic
Yeah. I mean,
instead of Denmark.
it's not foolproof. I've seen them This one guy has these
So there's only
videos
two-
on
there's only two
Facebook that he
countries
does
in
all the
world that
time
still
that
have the
are
letter D, Denmark and
that.
the Dominican Republic.
Seat 1 calls.
And so if it's not kangaroo eating an orange, it's a cat eating a tangerine in the Dominican Republic.
Seat 8 folds.
See, I didn't know that piece of information when my niece picked
People don't go full out.
Dominican Republic.
10 checks. Seat 1 checks.
Shout out to Esme, my niece, who lives down here in Minneapolis with my sister Michelle.
Yeah, we couldn't do that with my wife Ashley because when you had her pick a country, she probably would pick Dallas or Denver.
Yeah.
People, the poker players realize that you're guiding them like Mark did to the D. Like there's
Seat 1 bet 700.
Right.
Mark's usually always guiding you guys to the
actually
D.
teach a lesson in school that
Okay,
has
so
that kind of problem.
Paul's gonna try to bluff at
Mark
this.
always guides him to the D.
Does Ryan pay him with bottom or not bottom pair, but the 5?
Kind of a
Where did the action go? Ryan bet 250. Paul called.
Ryan called pre-flop check, so limp check pre-flop. Ryan bet the flop. He called with open-ended check turn, and then check river, and now he fires at it. All the draws missed, so I think you have to call here. Yeah, he called.
So Paul calls with an open ender and then takes a stab into the river, and Ryan says, "I picked up on something. I might be wrong."
break level
And
here.
Paul said, "You're right."
Blinds are 50 ante, 2 and 4 blinds.
Ryan told him he picked up on a read, and now he's telling him what it is right now, which isn't something you would see in a normal tournament. So that's interesting.
Well, I will say that the lineup is probably a little softer than the original lineup. You don't have to deal with Blake.
Does that make sense?
Blake would either have the chip lead or be busted at this point. One of the two. But no, Rob
Blake and
Loss
Luke
is
are
tough.
in
Not very good at poker, but he can be good.
Vegas right now, and Chad Holloway and Mark Hodge are standing in for them.
Yeah,
Thanks for being a good sport.
Mark's here to play poker. Yeah, come on, play on, Mark. Come on. Come on, Chad.
Underhand attack.
Come on.
Blinds are 2
Keith
and
with
4,
6s, Liz with 7s,
So is there a break after every hour?
every hour.
Okay.
Yeah, we're keeping
Yeah,
this.
just-
We're not on a time
Add the
constraint like we
goods.
are on the final table on a Sunday.
Yeah, seat 3 is called.
So we're making it
4
easy
folds,
for
seat
'em.
5 folds.
Too invested in
Remember what Eric
kangaroos
said,
in Denmark.
Everyone here is allowed
Seat 6
to
calls.
at least print.
Now Liz went to 400.
Seat 7 folds. Seat 8 calls.
Lines are 100, 200.
No, I think they just went up to 2 and 4.
Oh,
Is
so
that
she
right?
called.
Yeah, so,
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
Yep.
she did call. You're right. It says call
A
400.
lot of pocket pairs, deuces, 7s, 6s, 6-8 suited will play.
That Brian Molesky guy.
Yeah.
You're a good guy.
Jack 8 suited. King 9 in the small blind will call.
MSPT.
Seat 10 calls.
Brian Molesky's up for,
Seat
Keith
1
could go all in with 6s.
He's
Yep, there he did.
goes
he's
all
on the
in.
short list.
Liz,
Now, yeah, let's see what Liz does. She only started the hand with 3,400,
that's
so
so hard. Yep.
she's gonna be in great shape with
Yeah,
Ryan holding
she
one of
calls,
the
everybody
6s.
else folds. And Keith didn't do anything wrong here, I don't think.
Seat 3 folds. Seat 6 folds.
This is the best hand. Keith got the best hand to fold. That's great for him. And it's gonna just get through all the other people. That was a very tough decision for Liz.
It was. I think I fold there also with 47 people to act behind you.
You don't have to worry about any of those people that limp behind her having a huge hand very often, you know. Second limper, third limper, fourth limpers into the pot.
Tricky spot.
Right.
So she just has to decide how her hand is doing against
You were
Keith's
first to
hand.
act, and that's just one of those tricky spots when you have a full table. Act behind you.
Yeah, that's what Chad's commenting on now. That last stat that just popped up, let me pull it up again. Pre-flop raising.
Yeah. What's going on? I need to know what the Saints are going to win.
Mark's 22%,
Panthers.
and Margaret is 0% pre-flop raising. Keith 3%, Liz 6%.
Oh, I wish I could combine. Maybe change. Talent.
You can see the recreational players are doing more limping
Yeah.
than raising pre-flop.
Yeah, your pre-flop raise should be higher than that. just because aggression is a good thing in all forms of poker.
Now,
wanna-
Mark's 22% raise is higher than I think it normally would be.
Because of
But
the
he's got
lineup
the-
and because he's had good hands.
Right.
Also, he's had a lot of chips from the start.
Right. Makes it easier.
Seat 8 fold. Seat 9
Doubled up
calls.
to the old Hodge down there.
Here, what's your name?
Chad.
Chad. Let me ask you a question, Chad.
You had a kangaroo.
Three balls in the floor.
Go with the
I
koala
got my
next
number.
time.
I got my number.
No, if here, I'm curious, I'm not trying to get any
It'll be an
I
apple.
had
10
shown
calls.
my hand.
Seat 1
I'd have
fold.
folded. No,
Seat
I'd have
2
folded.
fold.
So I have 3, 3, and 9. I have 15 slices.
Yeah, I'd have folded.
A jack, you're dead to 1. 8, you're dead. And a heart, besides doing that cane that there's the board, you're still kind of dead.
Yeah.
3 players.
You would have?
Yeah, I would have folded.
Okay. Just curious.
Check.
Seat
A couple
5
of big
check.
draws here, open-ended for Ryan, and
Margaret's got a flush draw.
2 overs, a gut shot, and a flush draw for Margaret.
I hope
Margaret should have shoved there with only 1.4K and 3.5K in the pot, I think.
she's not doing the math, but I don't think she ever folds here.
Yeah, I doubt she folds. And she's going to have Ryan absolutely dominated.
And Ryan's looking at her going,
She's like, damn, she's only got this much. Hopefully I can get her to fold.
Yeah.
Seat 10 bet 1750.
which is enough to put Margaret all in
Seat 5 fold.
after Chad folds, and she calls. Yep, easy call.
Good luck,
Good job.
Margaret.
Seat 9 goes all in.
Get her, how much is it?
All in moment. I'll tell you.
You're
5, Jack, 9 with 2 clubs. I'll tell you the cards once they flip them up.
Queen high.
Ryan,
Oh,
you
he's
got queen
Chad's
high.
talking to Margaret's
Queen
husband.
10, open ender.
He needs the
She's
8
got
that's not a
the
club.
flush draw, king high flush draw with a gut
Or
shot.
a
So
king.
She's ahead right now.
8 or a
She's
king.
got a much better hand.
Yeah,
Huge
turns
advantage.
and she's
She
doubling. She just got to the
Yep.
straight.
she makes the straight on the turn.
Oh yeah,
King to-
king would chop it. You're right.
Are you
Doesn't
happy?
do
There
it.
you go.
Everyone clapping.
You hesitated on that one?
Holy,
Good job, Margaret.
thank you.
I have wet dreams about flopping.
Kangaroo guys.
I looked at him, I said, if he's gonna get
All these
some
kangaroos.
some hand there, go
She's
ahead.
talking about Chad's
Yeah.
riddle.
Oh yeah, I did- play it.
If that's
that hand plays
a riddle,
exactly
I
like it
guess.
should
I don't
right
know
there.
what exactly it's called.
I'm glad you're back. Even though I played a hurt people, I'm glad you're still in it.
Ryan's just a sweetheart.
She did the hesitant call, I'm like, is this ace 10 or something? I'm in good shape, or what a nightmarish hand for mine.
Seat 5
I could hit a
fold.
queen. No.
Seat 6
I can hit
fold.
a 10.
Seat
No.
Yeah,
7
I think he's
fold.
wrong in that spot. I do think
Seat 8 calls.
there's a
Seat
lot of
9
spots though. I
calls.
feel like that they need to go for it more. Yeah, be more aggressive. And I think every NFL team should start a new salary position game theory expert. You know, like assess those situations. Yeah.
A lot of Broadway cards out here.
Seat 10 makes it 1725.
I need to leave this
Seat
here.
1 fold. You fold that way. Go ahead.
What do you think about that raise?
Seat 1 fold. Seat 2 fold. Seat
Limp,
3
limp.
folds, and seat
I think
4
it's
folds.
good.
Yeah.
Punish the limpers, use your image.
There he goes.
But the thing
8
is,
goes all in.
the Oliver limp shoved the king queen.
25.
I like it. It's a little ambitious, but he's in good shape against Ryan, especially because Margaret folded Ryan's same 2 cards as Jack 10.
Yeah.
No, I like the raise with Ryan's hand. I don't mind over limping also, but he can use his image, which hasn't been out of line, and he can try to accumulate some chips that way. Most likely, he's just going to get folds. Sometimes these guys don't like to fold, so he might not get folds as often, but You see, usually this would be like a 60-40-ish hand, but Ryan had 2 of his cards folded, so he would have been greater than 40%. But now with at least 2 of his outs, I think another 10-7
Yeah,
was
there's
folded
another
and a
10
queen
out.
10. I think all the 10s might be gone. But yeah, that brings him down to 32%.
He's trying to do the math right now. 8.5 in the pot's gonna
Yeah.
cost him 3.5 to call.
Yeah, he's getting better than 2 to 1. He said 2 to 1, but he's getting 2.5 to 1, and not often that he's gonna be more than a 2.5 to 1 dog. So, but Ryan's more about bobbing and weaving, serving his stack,
And he doesn't
than
want.
math.
He
I
wants
was
to
just
be
gonna
at
say, quick king
8.2
queen,
instead
or I
of
mean 10 queen or
4.7.
jack. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Good pickup. Pick up those chips. Pick
And
up
then
those
Oliver
chips
tells
and
him I
let
had king
them
queen.
I would have called that, or the actual,
Tom's just looking around, not saying anything.
Yeah, I don't know what's into
What
Tom
you doing,
tonight.
Tom?
Kind of screwed him there because he caught it.
Mark isn't saying anything either, really.
No, he's been quiet.
Yeah. The Joes you might expect to be a little gun shy, a little quiet, but these other guys have been here before. You wouldn't expect that, especially from hammers.
How can I get out? Can I get out?
I think the one dynamic in this particular tournament that might be different is the pros are not used to 20-minute levels, and so they might. I mean, not that it's a huge deal, but the blinds are going up way faster than they normally do. Where all of my Joes
Seat 7 makes it 1.
have 20-minute levels they play every day in the
8 calls.
in the bars,
Seat 9
so they're
folds.
fine with that.
Seat 10 folds.
So they're not feeling the.
Seat 1
What was
folds,
Tom's hand right here?
folds.
I thought I saw that he had ace queen,
That's what I also saw.
and then he just opened mucked ace queen offsuit under the gun. He's been listening to Norman Chad about the ace queen.
Wow.
He's there.
I could be wrong, but I thought that's
No,
what I saw.
that is what I saw also.
I'll take a maker. Maker's
Should I go out there and yell at him, tell him we need a little Tom Hammers personality at this table?
7 bets 1100.
Yeah, what's going on, Tom?
Long for me.
There's a reason you're on this lineup.
Seat 8 folds. All right, guys, chopper's back. Yeah, we can do it.
And Mark got Oliver to fold his ace jack with just a position.
Pretty easy C bet with a gutter ball.
Paul, why don't you tell us about your shirt?
Oh, you mean my beautiful Flop the World goat shirt I'm wearing?
Yep. Stu Unger, Chip Reese, Phil Ivey, and Fedor Holes.
Yep.
Maker's Diet. Throwing holes in there with the likes of those
Yes.
legends.
Yes.
You don't disagree. Fedor Holes, if nobody knows, is 23 and is the best poker player in the world.
We 249?
Okay. I don't want to.
He last year he went from like 2011 to having like 300K in earnings, and now he's got like 24, 25 million. Just insane.
I think he's fifth on the all-time list
Yeah.
already.
And he's that young.
Ryan is away from
Oh
the
yeah,
table.
no doubt. The high rollers have skewed everything.
Well, it's like the one drops. Squeeze everything.
Yeah,
7 folds, 8
for sure.
folds, 9 folds, 10 folds. 1 fold, 2 folds. 3 calls. 4 folds.
Alvin Kamara ruled out the rest of the game. Yikes, that's my fantasy playoff matchup. Wonder if anybody listening has that same issue going on.
I don't.
You don't even do sports.
I don't do any sports.
UFC, and that's it.
Yep, that's it.
Poker.
UFC and poker, that's all I do.
5, that's 7.
Johnny like sports at all?
6 folds.
He's in the karate, I know.
He's in Taekwondo.
Okay.
Just got his purple belt.
3 folds.
I saw him smash that board with brute strength.
If you go back and watch that video, he was having problems breaking the board, and the Master Tabitha put a
cloth over it
Yeah,
so
she
he
put
wasn't
a towel
scared of
over
how
it.
hard it was,
Yeah,
right?
did you see that?
Yeah, I
She's
saw
like,
it.
there, now you're not afraid of it. And he goes, look, I'm not afraid of the board. You know, if you go back and look at
Okay.
it.
No more,
It
no
was
more
funny.
numbers.
She goes, there, now you
I
don't
was
have to
just
be
gonna ask,
afraid.
who's your
I
favorite
covered up
poker
the
player?
board. Now you don't have to be afraid of it.
No, don't say that.
Oh, cute.
Look at that.
You made me proud.
Look at that. Good job.
Chad asked Margaret who her favorite poker player was, and she said, "You are."
Well, clearly she has an affinity for the bad boys, right?
Oh, too
8
sad.
folds,
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
9
Quit
folds.
picking on
You heard that part, though. Did you
I'll
hear that
ask
part?
Liz. Liz,
Did-
who's your favorite poker player?
Chad, I just want you to recognize, did you hear what she said just now?
Uh.
Too sad.
I did.
One raises to
Here's
1,500.
Paul with the Q and the Q. I don't think he's going to get any action except for Liz with the ace 4 suited. What was the raise? 1.3?
A little over 3x. Yeah, she only has 1,700,
I
so
think
she has to decide if
she
she
has
wants
to
to go
fold.
with it or not.
What's Ryan talking about? Horses again?
Yeah. Yep, he's sweating the horse races.
Am I ready to go home? What time is it? Oh,
She's got 2 outs because Tom's sitting over there with an ace.
damn it.
And no electronics, technically, Ryan. Though we know you're not sweating the poker stuff. I
Good
don't know what's
fold.
going
3
on.
folds. 4 folds, 5 folds.
She ordered a drink. She's got to wait for at least that.
6 folds, 7 folds.
You have something good, or 7's again?
I had 8, 4,
Oh, then you got to feel good about that right on. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Queens for Paul.
He showed the queens.
Yep.
He wants to keep his tight reputation
I
intact.
don't think he plans on changing his tight play, so I don't know why you need to keep your tight reputation intact. You want them to think that you might not have some. But I could be
Well,
wrong.
he did bluff on that when the open-ended straight draw missed.
Yeah,
tried
he
to
bluffed
bluff.
twice actually, post flop, I guess. So maybe I'm wrong. He remember he bluffed with the 8-9 of clubs on the gut shot board, Queen Jack 6-6, 3 diamonds, and then then he tried to bluff Ryan in the other pot, but it was not successful.
Because Ryan had the soul read and then told him what it was.
Seat 9 call.
There haven't been any big coolers really. We had the nut flush versus the second nut flush early, and aces versus top pair and stuff, but no big pair versus big pair or anything like that.
I'd like to think your
C10
chances of getting a
raises
better raise,
1,050.
And the nut flush, second nut flush were four flushes on the board, so.
Right.
1 folds, 2 folds, 3 folds, 4 folds, 5 folds.
You know, Oliver's ace king on king 4-3 when Chad had 2 pair.
6 folds, 7
Was-
folds.
You know, a lot of these Joes have been on the losing side of
My
the
favorite poker player used to be, before he passed, the Devilfish.
coolers.
David Devilfish Elliott.
And 9 folds.
He was a terrible, terrible man in a lot of regards, but he was a character, and I like character. And he had those knuckle dusters that he wore, and his suits, and his slick back hair. That's one of the reasons I got into poker.
I really
Just
can't
because, you know,
believe
he looked tough.
we're
like
heading into
debonair,
level 6 with nobody busting.
you know.
It's pretty good. I would have. I think we'll lose somebody before the break.
When they go up to 3 and 6, average stack will be like 17 big blinds, so. be hard not to bust somebody before the 3 and 600 level ends.
Yeah, the microphone might be able to hear the music that they're playing.
Distorting. Sorry.
We could hear Ryan's music, but only slightly.
5 raises to 900.
Yeah, YouTube will not let me post this video if there's any music in the background.
Really?
Yeah, they'll let me post some music, but they will mute it so nobody will hear our stunning commentary.
That would probably be for the better.
It's my first time.
Oh, well, I was referring to myself personally, but
That's 1200.
Oliver's got the open-ended.
C9 full.
he called from the small blind, then he bet out on the flop and takes the initiative and gets it. He's made some good plays.
Yeah, he's the player I know the least because he's up in Canada, plays in Roseau, so I've never actually had the chance to play against him.
So you have even bar leagues up. Where's Roseau? Just
It's
very,
right on the
very
border.
northern Minnesota.
Yeah, you could throw a rock from Roseau and hit Canada.
Okay. I wonder how easy is it to just like cross the border to play a bar tournament for the night?
This will be the last thing at this level.
Guess it must be easy enough. Guess it
not
depends
hard.
on how many felonies you have.
Yeah, you can't cross if you've got like a DWI. So
Right. Yeah.
that's half of Minnesota and Wisconsin can't go to Canada now.
Small blind there. Action starts here.
All right.
Yeah, they're resources.
King Jack in the small blind. It looks like
C1 folds, 2 folds.
it's gonna fold around to Margaret.
4 folds. 5 close.
Oh, my pleasure.
The 6-8 suited. I like 6-8 suited.
Yeah, hammers would never be folding the 3-4 suited. That's the type of hand he likes. He wasn't
Right.
gonna fold if it folded to him. Oliver called on the button with the Queen-6 suited.
Well, limping begets limping. It went call, 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 so he's getting a good price for it.
Oh, she just called? Alright, sorry.
And 10 checks. Five left.
Clubs would be devastating for Tom. Oh! He flops the wheel,
9 checks.
and Chad's got a better flush draw.
This is why Tom likes the 3-4 clubs.
900. That is 900. Seat
Folds
6,
around to Chad.
Seat 8 folds, seat 9 folds, 10 folds.
Still not rooting against Chad, but the 5 of clubs would be a pretty cool card here. Must already be folded. Says he's,
Heads up.
oh no, it says he has 4 outs because those are 4 outs to help him. That doesn't mean
Right.
the 5 of clubs is folded. Yeah. He made a pair.
Made a pair. His hand got better.
If he made trips or 2 pair on the river here, that would be really bad for him. Hammer's just betting huge.
4,800.
Over the pot. And that's going to price Chad right out of the pot, I think.
I think so. Is he putting on an ace that will pay him? Or is he trying to get rid of the flush draw?
I'm not sure. I'm not in love with the bet sizing, but I don't know what his exact reasoning is, whether it's to protect against the flush draw or try to make him think it looks like a bluff and
Right.
get him to pay with an ace. I'm not sure.
I think Tom's trying to use his not today behavior, but his previous reputation to make Chad think he's bullying him. But I think it's too much, and Chad can't risk it.
And Chad's given a lot away with his mannerisms to this point now. I think he just is gonna let it go. He's cutting out his chips, but I think he's gonna fold.
Do you like the new updated software for the heads up where it'll focus in on the actual player?
Oh, okay.
C5 call.
See, it used to show
Chad
the whole
calls.
side of the table, and now it'll focus in on the
Okay.
5 and the
I like
9.
it. Yeah, that is nice. Now Tom's only got 1.5K. Now the pot's laying him such a good price.
Does he call with his 6?
I don't know, because even the jack high flush draws got there now. So like, what do you really beat? A king high flush draw, and that's it. And you have 2 clubs.
And call.
That's all.
Straight to the 6.
I had the bigger plug draw, but
Gotta show both hands.
I had the bigger
Small
plug
pair of
draw.
sixes.
It was 6.
15, 25 times.
That's all? Why couldn't they quad 5 for 5?
So it looks
Alright,
like
lines are up. We're now at a
Tom's
75
bet
ante.
sizing might have
600.
Yeah.
convinced Chad that he had the bigger flush draw. Chad called even though the pot wasn't laying him the right price because he felt like he might have the best hand most
Flush
likely
draw
there.
too, but with not a straight.
So Chad's saying that he thought his I paired my 6 was good because he put hammers on a flush draw.
Yeah, I don't know how much he thought that, but he still had outs and he got into the pot to that point, and then he hoped that for sure.
Yeah, no, it's suited. That suited 3-4. Win him tonight.
Call. Seat 2 calls. Seat 3 folds. Seat 4 and 5 fold.
Kirby's been tight. What's his PFR? 7% PFR. Matt Kirby the net.
Seat 7
Let's
fold.
look at that.
8 fold.
7%.
9 calls.
Margaret at 0. She has not raised a pot yet.
Not pre-flop
Yeah.
at all. I mean, her aggression is really low also. Let's take a look at this really quickly.
Option with the 1
Her aggression.
So she's bet on some flops a few times, or turns, or rivers, but yeah, she's not raised pre-flop
Yeah.
once.
Which is what I would expect from
Yeah.
your standard, from her standard play. It was
Just barley
checking and
poker play in
calling,
general is more
being
likely they want to
intimidated
see a
at this
flop.
field and going like, geez, I just want to.
They'd rather see a flop for as cheap as possible and things like that, which is reasonable.
King of clubs.
C2 10 checks. 1 check. C2 bets 1200.
That flop was a little delayed to come up. Sometimes it's like that. It hasn't been like that at all tonight, so
And that's a software glitch that we're working on.
a lot of times it's like that when we're in here.
1 fold.
It makes it fun though because you get to look at the players' reactions before you get to see the flop and try to figure out what it means.
It makes it extremely frustrating when I'm trying to enter something and I'm like, it won't let me do anything yet.
Yeah.
They haven't had a double up at the World Series yet, have they?
All right, Liz down to 3 big blinds. Mark up at 52 with his 21K. Did he lose a pot? He was at 30K, wasn't he? Didn't he have
Mark?
3X? Or not? I thought he had 3 big. I thought he
I
had.
don't know. I saw him at like 28, but I don't
Okay, well,
think I've seen him lose. He's got, what does he have?
21.
21? I don't remember. We might have missed something.
weird.
Just when the blinds are at this, you call 1,000 a couple times, and
Right.
then you pay the blinds, things
Somebody-
like that. They
yeah.
can dwindle quickly.
Somebody raises a little bit.
Right.
Margaret got the ace 10. Liz under the gun with an ace and 3 big blinds. Okay, she got away
Yeah,
from it
like
that
most
time.
likely she should probably shove that hand, but it's okay to fold. You're under the gun. You got the whole table behind you. What do you really want? You know you're gonna run into a hand. Now Margaret with 3.3K, she has 8 big blinds when it folds to her in the cutoff. This is a hand she should be shoving with, but
No, we know she doesn't shove.
yeah, that's just not her
That's
choice.
not
of
her
playing.
style. She'll
1 fold. And 2 checks. 3 players. C2 check. 9 check.
Ryan flops the best hand with top pair.
C10, that's 1,425. C2 folds. And C9 folds. Foot or beverage, anyone?
11 minutes to go before break.
I'm all good.
Ryan, the remote.
Aggression, Mark up at the top.
Yeah, so the remote.
Then Chad, then Paul. Paul's got a high aggression frequency. How is that possible?
Right back there by my drink, you see it? There's a remote right there.
Small and big.
Are you gonna go take Ryan's tablet away from him? You see it sitting on the rail?
I did not see it. What is he?
He's betting horses, I'm sure.
Oh, okay. I'll go yell at him.
Or if you see Big Mike, you can check.
We can't have
See
electronics
4
at the
folds,
table.
5 folds.
Yep, look at that. All right, he's gonna get yelled at.
7
Raise to the channels.
raises to 1,500.
You start at 10 and go up to 20.
8 folds, 9 folds.
Eric just left the room. We get to watch him come in and yell at Ryan.
You go up from 10, start at 10, and go up to the other channel.
1 folds, 2 folds.
Yeah, here comes Eric. Oh, jeez.
Oh, just listen to music.
So unprofessional. He needs to win this. He needs to win this, so he needs to stick it.
He's been betting the horse. He's bet it on the side over here.
Bless you. You need tissue?
This is an interesting spot for Liz in the big blind here. She's got 1/3 of her stack in. I think she should probably just call it off here and hope she's doing okay. What are you waiting for, really? You know, when you have that low on chips and you're blinding out. Mark has a worse hand than what you would expect him to have here, but usually Liz is not going to be in horrible shape. Okay, good. She did call it off. That's good. She's not in that bad a shape. It's most likely going to be a chop pot here.
Chop it up.
Flip them up.
Go ahead and turn them over.
Did Ryan comply with your command?
He did. He had his iTunes up. He was listening to music.
Good chance of a chop.
He's,
But yeah, you gotta go.
so he didn't have the internet up even. He just had music going.
We should have known when we heard the music earlier that he had an electronic device out. We're really sharp in here. All the diamonds. That's a bad flop. Bad flop
Anything
for
above a
Liz.
4 is a chop.
Yep, anything above a 4 that's not a diamond though is
It's gonna be
good.
a chop. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a
it's
chop.
Chop it up.
Chop.
Chop it up.
Try to talk yourself into it.
Take back your last bets.
I don't think we know what you were doing. Never try that shit on me. Don't ever. It's gonna be a shit, yeah. Reverse psychology. Don't ever patronize.
Well, I mean, what, was there about 75–80% of the deck that was chopped there?
Yeah, and then when a diamond hits, you rub it in.
They usually don't do that.
He knew you had under 1,500.
Well, I thought for sure she's going to call. Once she hasn't said that.
Raise
You got to
5,
call.
send
It's
1,
already got half of it in there. Yeah, I mean, it was just bad that you had the ace, but it didn't matter. You got that. It was a good call. It was the right call. Yep. It was absolutely the right call. You got to do that. I mean, if you stop and think about it, even if I have pocket aces, you still get odds.
Do you have a pen back there? Do you have a pen?
25 plus. It would have been a 3,075. His 2375. 2975. So you're putting in a little over 700 to win 2975.
Action is in the field.
Chad's got the queens. Margaret has ace 10.
Kirby with ace jack in the big blind. A couple of decent hands dealt out here. There's only one ace left. Ace 3 suited for hammers.
I think
Hold it pretty quickly. Tough decision for Margaret. She might just.
She's not in the business
She's
of
gonna
folding
fold.
ace 10.
She's gonna fold. I'm going with it.
1500. Yeah, it's too much. It's half her stack.
Just leave them set for a second. Like,
Fold or shove.
Just got to be careful with your cards. Always be careful with your cards when you're playing live poker. If Ryan looked over right now, he could see your hand. You got to protect him a little better than that.
and this is the Kimosabi Mezcal Mystery Shot hand, is what we call this.
At least this table's
Oh, she's not gonna fold. Bad read by me. Good read by Eric.
See one folds.
I'll fold through them, being you can't see my cards.
So Kirby's.
To go and tell you what he had. C2 and C3 both
I'll
fold.
leave it a mystery to you too.
C4 calls.
Now he's getting the
Yeah,
extra.
yeah, Kirby
Does
comes
he
along.
call if Margaret folds?
Yeah, if Margaret folds, Kirby would have defended also, I think. Either way. Top set for Chad.
4 checks.
That's an above average flop.
800.
5, that's 800.
Kirby's got the backdoor nut flush draw, backdoor straight draw, so Kirby could peel off 800 here. I mean, with what's in the pot, it seems super reasonable for him to peel off. No, okay, he folded pretty quickly.
He shows 3 queens and Margaret's feeling better
Good
about her
flop.
fold now. She didn't like folding them on the
I was
flop.
hoping that for
Yeah,
him.
I would have peeled in Kirby's spot. Ace high could be the best hand, and even when it's not, you have usually have more equity than what he had there.
I'm like, you're limping it, or you're coming along there. I don't blame you then.
Yeah, so the wife said to me, what are you hoping for? So I'm hoping to finish in the top 10%.
top 10%.
Yeah.
Top 10% is number 1. All of these Joes finished in the top 10% on Saturday.
All they gotta do is one more top 10%.
And one more top 10%, and they're happy.
Well, no matter what your mystery hand
C6
there was, I'm
folds,
guessing you're
7
not
folds.
going to beat the top set.
8 folds. 9 folds. C10 fold. 1 fold.
Keith's card showed up this time.
Yep.
C2 folds. C3 folds.
Walks are appreciated. I don't get out for walks much. Oh,
C4 goes all in.
I wish I would have looked at that one first. Give me a
C5
swap.
folds.
Oh, you'd be crushed. Oh, the queen.
Pocket threes?
No, you had ace 3.
Ace tray, boys. Ace tray.
Well, guess what my mystery hand was?
Deuces trays.
That was
Seven something.
Mystery hand?
3 minutes
Well,
to
the
break.
hand that didn't show up after. Tell me what my hand was that I
Seven deuce.
No.
Better than that.
You're shoving it, huh?
Margaret and Liz down around 3 big blinds. Keith at 20 still.
I got half of it right.
As long as you got
Yep,
a
Margaret
backup
and Liz
plan.
both are in a spot where once you get down to that range, even before that range, you should be looking to
Yep.
get your money in, make a move. Forgot the cut card.
Not a chance.
Come on, Chopper.
I'll
That's
make it
a very
known
small
here now,
mistake.
I am not folding ace king at this table.
That's the worst he does.
Not
He's
at this
doing all
point.
We're
right.
all right.
No.
What if it's on the river?
It could go all in, all the way around to me, then maybe I'll consider it.
C7 folds. C8 folds. C9 all in.
All right,
Yeah.
Paul's going to call.
Yeah.
C10 fold.
You sure? I think Paul's gonna fold.
I like Paul's call right now. What is it, 3 big blinds?
Yeah.
Good luck, Margaret.
Another bad read by me.
Raises to 2,000.
You got to
No,
play
that
in more
should just be
bars.
a call, Chopper.
And C4
Unless he said something. Maybe he verbalized something.
2K.
Correct.
I wonder if he said 2,000.
C6 folds.
Doesn't matter either way, but
Good luck, Margaret. Flip them up.
And
What do you think about the raise on Paul's spot?
I
Is
don't know if he
trying to
meant to raise,
isolate?
but it's fine to isolate. I don't mind it, and then fold if anybody behind you shoves, because obviously you ran into a huge hand.
Yep.
There it is, in the window.
And Paul only has 2 outs. since the club was the 10 of clubs. Oh, chop it
the
up.
diamond.
Chop outs now.
Opportunities.
Avoided hammer or diamond.
Chop it up.
Oh, they did it! They chopped it up.
Well, hey,
That's fair.
you still almost doubled
Everyone
with
sticks
the,
around.
with the
Still
blinds and
awaiting
the
our
ace.
first
And we
elimination.
still don't lose a player.
Oh, Lord.
Be glad he raised.
I actually wanted to see Margaret. Oh yeah, somebody said it's glad you raised. So it must have been a purposeful raise to isolate. We just heard the 1 minute beep.
There you go. One more hand and a break.
One more hand to break.
And the
We
button.
are going to be
And the-
coloring up the green chips at break as well.
You do that.
I can't believe I doubled you up. I should have known better.
Chad's reminiscing about 15 minutes ago when he doubled up.
I should have known. On
hammer.
the turn, I knew I was behind. I didn't think you had a straight. I just figured you had an ace, you know, tucking the ace or whatever. But then I had to.
It's such a pittance.
Yeah, that
And
if
if
you
I
maybe you
miss
missed
a
a flush
flush,
drop,
yep.
exactly.
Had nothing.
Crying thing.
You'd kick yourself if you hadn't called it.
Seed 8
Hence the bet on the turn.
Seed 9
Oh, that
folds.
was good. I almost wish I didn't pay the turn because then I don't have to fold it. But then I'm thinking, you know, if I had a 6.
We're on break
Which I wouldn't.
Seed
but-
10
after
folds.
this hand.
1 folds. 10 better.
I think Kirby will just raise and win
Seed 2
this
and
one.
Seed 3 both fold.
What do you think about these hour breaks?
Seed 4 raises to 14.
Hour between breaks.
I think it's fine for this.
For
I
this,
think
it's
it's too much for
Yeah,
any
it would be too
major tournament.
too distracting on the main event on Sunday, having a break every hour. But for this, it's fun.
Waste time too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And Seed 7 folds. Enjoy your break, folks.
We're done. Next.
What was the other one?
While we're waiting, let's go through these. Here's our stack size that are exactly accurate right now after the chip up. We've got Liz down with
Well, it has been fun.
1.3,
A couple hours together.
Are you
everybody
planning on
was
busting
pretty-
the next game?
Wow.
which is one
Hey,
big
I've
line.
been up and down. I could be the first to know.
Didn't it?
Yep. Well,
Here's a
I'll be-
two
detail.
people with
I'll show it to you
under
for
two
the
big
first round,
blinds.
just because
We'll be seeing them go all in within the next orbit, I guess, because they'll be forced to, even if they don't want to.
Pre-flop raising.
And depending on who it is, it might be kangaroo.
I'm still, yeah, I'm still on the
Aggression frequency.
Next time you'll remember that because you walk into the bathroom.
I like Liz. Look at Liz way up here with the 32%
Yeah,
aggression frequency.
she's been in there.
It's from Denmark.
Right.
And the hands that she played, she didn't play passively. She played them more aggressively, which is good.
46 hands going
never
into
eat an orange again without thinking of this
level
game.
7.
without laughing.
Is that kangaroo still eating that orange? Our blinds are 4 and 8. It's going to be 800 to call now. 800 to call. Wow, we're 2
Kind of an
hours.
ironic twist. I once ate
And that
kangaroo,
one person,
and when I was in Australia,
Erica.
9 folds.
very gamey, very tough.
Wasn't
Still might be.
10 folds. 1 folds. 2 folds.
Not much happening here.
3 goes all in.
With an ace,
Yeah.
that's easy.
4 folds.
That was good. I like it.
5 calls.
Chad calls, and then now probably just Oliver gonna come along. Mark's getting a good price, but okay. Yep,
6
Oliver's
folds,
gonna come along.
1200.
Yeah.
He's got 800 in, 400 more.
Half a big.
And 8 calls.
Us on the side. all in.
2 players on the side. 1 player's all in.
All right, Liz needs a 4. There's some boards that run out where she's gonna chop with Chad.
Not anymore.
There's a 4.
There's the 4. Now she just has to fade the 3 over cards. Oh, there's one of them.
Checks. Seat 5 checks. Seat 8
Do
checks.
it.
Seat 5 checks. Everybody up.
And we're going to lose Liz from Fertile Side Street Tavern.
This is a valiant attempt
10th place
from
finish.
Liz.
I loved her aggression.
Yep. Yep, she got in
She
there.
wasn't,
She wasn't afraid.
Yeah, she wasn't afraid. She didn't. She went out swinging.
We look forward to doing
Good job, Liz.
No choice. He had to go with the ace. So
Oh, I remember what I was going to tell you to remind me to say. Kemosabi I told you about the $100 bet we had.
Yeah.
Kimosabi, for every venue in my league that orders a case of Kimosabi, they're going to
Ryan just got chastised.
give them a tournament where the winner that night gets a state seat. So you don't have to earn your way to the regional, earn your way to the, win the regional. You just get an automatic seat to the state tournament.
So if you win the state seat, top 10% is 1,000. So
Right.
the value of it's 100.
Probably 120.
Yeah. Okay.
So they straight, so they win. They play for free. The winner that night gets directly into the state tournament for a $120 seat.
Seat 2 folds, seat 4 folds.
Which I thought was a pretty cool deal for And Liz owns the Fertile Side Street Tavern. Oh, Liz doesn't know she has to leave.
Chad's getting aggressive with it. He's picked up on everybody playing tight, and we raised it up with the deuce 5, which is okay, but Margaret is in the big blind with no chips.
Right.
You're gonna like it, Margaret, and I apologize in advance if I end up winning.
Yeah, if Margaret had any
look over and
chips.
see, you had most
Yeah.
of it in the big.
He
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
paying attention.
It's okay though. There goes Chad's image, by the way.
Yes. The deuce 5 off in the hijack.
And then Chad's got diamonds and a straight draw.
Diamond draw and a 2-pair draw.
And a trips
And
draw.
a trips draw.
Trip.
Or hit if you got the wheel.
Straight.
Sorry. I got a straight.
Yep. Margaret, wait, what happened?
But you lost to your favorite player. Yeah. I don't know if he's still your favorite player. He's not your favorite player anymore.
Yeah.
0 to 0, and then
Margaret, it was a pleasure playing
That
with
was
you.
fun. Fun. Mrs. Mason met you guys.
And that was fun. I hope they both won $500 cash Saturday, and then they got to play in this, which is an experience itself. So I hope they're excited to be here anyway.
Any way possible, right?
Okay, hold on. He's got 3 cards.
Time, misdeal. He's got 3 cards and misdeal.
Whoops.
He's
That's
still
all right.
in
There's a
win.
button on the action tracker that says miss deal.
That makes it easy.
ace 9.
At ace 9, he had ace queen 4.
Yeah.
So don't tell your, I was gonna say, don't tell your brother this one. This is honest to God true story though, because I first learned of you back at the
Don't tell your brother this one.
And for well over a year,
It's recorded.
I thought that Tony was your dad.
Thank you. He likes to. People like, who do you think looks older? I'm like,
Yeah.
dude. You know how many people come up to the World Series? Hey, is your dad here this year? I'm like,
It's just the
I'm like,
truth
yeah,
though.
your dad. He's
Tony
always
loves,
in his
I love
face
Tony,
here. I'm
but
like, yeah, my dad's out here.
it's the truth. One time though, your brother came up. I had some peanuts, some almonds sitting there, and this was at Running Aces. I shouldn't say that, I guess we're here in Canada, but he came walking up and he's eating these
Seat
almonds.
3 or seat 4 folds.
I've got those
Seat
almonds.
5 folds.
I look over to my desk. Those almonds are gone.
Oh, yeah. Seat 6 folds.
I don't have those almonds anymore.
Thanks, Liz.
I'm the small blind, right?
You're single big.
Oh, this is the
Single big.
I love Tony.
Chad. I got one for you.
All right.
The fellow applied for a job. Ross called him in for an interview.
2 players.
The interview went really well.
Keith called with a queen 7? That surprises me.
I think it was just a
No, I
blind versus.
haven't.
+1.
Peanuts there.
Okay, so Ryan.
Lunching with the peanuts.
Oh, he limped with a queen 7
He
plus
limped with
1.
a
Okay.
queen 7 off, which is
When can you start?
Seat 2 bets 3,000.
Do you mind if I ask?
He's gonna win.
Yep.
Seat 10 folds.
You said, I see you've got a bowl of peanuts on the table.
Yeah, that was an interesting play. Not anything that he's really done to this
Yeah.
point.
having the chocolate. There you go.
There's Brandon cleaning up the tables.
Getting out the dead chairs.
Give Keith a little bit of elbow room down there. Yes, I had 3 phone calls this month. 2 were from you and 1 was from Ryan Hartman this morning.
Well, what is Ryan talking about? He said you already talked to him. What is it about language at the table?
Yeah, I
Told him to watch his language, huh? That's tough for Ryan to do sometimes. Kirby picks up a hand. He's been pretty snug. Oh, and he runs into aces.
Oh no, with Oliver.
And there's a dead queen
How many
already.
chips does Oliver have? 11. That's
Yeah,
a lot.
Kirby's not gonna
Kirby's
get
got
away.
15.
Seat 4 makes it 2,000.
Any queens
It's just like
folded?
if he had like tens or something, he probably could get away. But
Yeah, you don't fold
queens
queens
is just
against,
yeah.
not against Oliver.
And Oliver, I mean, he's not
He's played
ridiculous,
solid.
but
No, he's been playing pretty decent. You know, he hasn't made any mistake. And he's
Kirby's gonna hate it.
Yep, so we're gonna pull that one back. It's gonna be a raise to 4. Seat 4.
And I think that was pretty strict.
4,000. Seat 10
He announced a
folds.
raise as he was bringing them out.
We'll see what Kirby does here.
Seat 1 folds.
He's gonna go all.
Seat
Wow!
Kirby's the best.
You're so good.
He had the goods.
I'm losing 11.1k in that hand.
Kirby's the best. I mean, Oliver probably has like kings and aces only, maybe
Yeah.
ace king. So whatever. I mean, but he did it easily. He
Matt
was
just
like-
snap folds and nobody knows he just folded queens right there.
He didn't even talk about it after he showed him the aces. He's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a
Weird.
stat for talking at the table. I don't know who's got the least percentage between you and Paul. Mark? No, you. Odds-on favorite.
Who said that guy
I'm gonna make
he's
up
a
for
pro? I've seen him in the tournament. He's got the big beard and he never shuts up. And he's annoying as hell.
We're out.
Who's he talking about? I wonder. Oh, Alex Keating.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
4 makes it
They
2,000.
figured it out right after I did.
Good read, Paul.
Kirby's got kings. He's not gonna fold these ones.
5 folds. Seat 6 folds. Seat 7
And now he
folds,
has
seat 8
11k,
folds,
12k still instead of 3. that I
What's
would've
Paul
had.
gonna do with sixes in the small blind? Call? Is that mine? I mean, he's not getting the right price too, but I think he might do it. Yeah.
I agree.
Seat 1 calls. Seat 2 folds.
Out of position, hit a 6. Where were we at? We were at Potawatomi last week with Big Daddy in the Kings and the guy.
Oh, King
no!
6-3.
Paul's going broke. It
Yeah.
was nice to know
See you
you.
later. Kirby gets rewarded for his
Yes.
great fold with the.
Seat 1 bets 3,000.
You
with the
can't,
queens, the hammer
you can't
four.
complain flopping a set against a set and going broke.
Yeah, that's tough for Paul. He's gonna go all in. Kirby's gonna
Yep.
snap call, no matter what the river is.
Yep. Ooh, club might.
Yeah.
Nope.
Goes
Boom,
all
boom,
in.
boom.
Seat 4
Oh.
calls.
Wow. Nothing.
That's tough for Paul. Nothing he
can
can
go
do about that
broke.
one. Okay, I mean, you could maybe fold pre-flop, but
In the small blind.
no, I mean, mathematically,
Right.
he,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just
he
thinking,
shouldn't set mine off that
you
stack.
know,
but
he's
it's
Every
not.
one of us goes
I mean, it's
400,
fine.
2,000, yeah, 5,
Tom. Tight Tom.
800, and he raised a 2. That's, yeah, I guess he could have folded pre-flop, but he was just loving life when he hit that flop.
Yeah.
What if I just give you $1 and I sign it? I give you $1 and I sign it, Ryan, or the
I'll sign it too.
Yeah.
Two-time MSPT
Chad
champ.
and I
Big
sign
blind.
it.
There's not a dollar bill that exists in the world.
Chad and I each sign $1. Can we be even on the 12?
You signing $1 would be making it worth like 87 cents.
Yeah, that was a great fold by Kirby with the queens. Just adjusting
Seat
to
5 folds.
your opponents, you know. That's
He knows Oliver's
If-
never
if-
3-betting
To the
with
dealers, we
yeah,
apologize.
less
We
than kings.
honestly didn't think this was going to go past 3 hours. And it might
Seat
not yet,
6
but
makes it 1,800.
We were 10-handed there for so long. We never would have thought.
Seat 8 calls.
Tom loves his suited connectors. Kirby's gonna call from the big blind with the ace-6 of clubs.
Canterbury does legit, not just lip service. It has some of the best dealers
4 calls.
in the country. Some, not all.
Of course, that one Kirby.
I was gonna say we're right
Now
here.
what? Now what they?
3 players. I was gonna say right here in front. You can embellish it if you want. Yeah, sweet talk us.
Oliver hits a 10, Tom hits a 7.
I will say this though about Canterbury, because I travel all around the
Seat
country.
8, that's
The
15.
food. Oh yeah, the food options and the quality and the price. Doesn't it?
Seat 6 calls.
Really? Wow. No, it's.
I think this is a pretty standard line by Tom here to check call,
Yep,
especially versus that sizing.
yep.
Now he's never getting away.
No,
Come to
he's,
some of the
ooh, check,
places
check.
I've been, you get a hot dog
All
if
right.
you're lucky.
Oliver might make more money if he misses. Yeah, Oliver might make some money on here. Tom thinks he's good. Oh, check, check again. Okay.
Tom's happy that he checked the turn because he was never gonna get away.
Well,
He's on a heater.
Kirby.
He's on a heater.
Me and Jeremy, it's a great bet to have to give away those full week. It's a 20-cent.
I think Oliver might be mad if he realized Kirby folded queens and he should have made 11K.
11K. You know, it'd be 5 cents.
Yeah, it was.
But you paid 48,000.
I think Chad pays him. I think
If Jeremy, if like
Tom pays him. Mark, I don't know.
That is the worst horse. The 6.
Kirby,
Ryan or Tom might be the ones that, the way they play, they might be able to get away from it
Right.
too.
I think Chad pays him.
Chad or Mark, I don't think they would.
Jeremy Dress is extremely sharp individual all the way around. He played poker as much as the rest of the top players in Minnesota. You know, he played like.
I feel like he would drink most people into the
You know,
field.
how he doesn't play that much. If he did, he would be
8 folds.
by far the best. He's already a great player.
Seat 10 folds.
High compliments to Jeremy Dresch from Ryan Hartman, which are well deserved.
Seat 4
Two-time
calls.
MSPT champion Jeremy Dresch.
Seat 5 checks the option.
What do you think about that new MSPT Hall of Fame we've got going on?
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
You have to.
I'm gonna have to chase it and maybe get in there someday.
Yeah.
4
Well, you've
checks,
already won
5
one.
checks.
All you need to do is get 10 final tables and
Yeah.
20 cashes.
I just need to get 2.5 times as many final tables as I've gotten over the past 5 years. So that should only take me 7.5 more years.
Well, to be fair, we're doing like 60 events now. We used to do like 8. So
Yeah,
a year. Slight exaggeration.
I still play close to the same amount though, maybe a little more now.
Jersey there.
I wanna say.
Yeah, that emblem's pretty good.
This was right after Breen got the copyright for it for him.
I could be a legend if I were to make this call. It looked foolish if I did though and was wrong.
We know you don't have that.
You'd be a legend if you re-raised.
That's true.
We have Paul Morton in the booth with us now. He's going to help out with the commentating. We just told him that Kirby snap folded queens and he couldn't believe it.
I wonder what Chad is
Tight rope
considering
to
here.
bet. If you can't win it, you're gonna bet it.
Chad's thinking about hero calling 9 high.
Yeah, right? Is he going to try bluffing
Now you're making it
into the nuts?
No, he's not gonna raise. He's thinking about calling with 9 high. If Kirby has any hand that's like not paired, is worse than 9 high, you know?
So he loses to the ace, the king, the queen, the jack, the 10.
Yeah, but so like the hands like
Yeah.
the hands like an ace.
Wait, show this one because
The
I
king.
almost called you with that. I swear you're gonna see. I have 9, 8. I have not nothing.
But Chad, the ace, king, jack, 10, 9, it would play. So any 9 high is the same 9 high.
Because I do honestly believe you're the type.
FYI, at Canterbury,
Yeah, like
they have a rule where if you show one card,
You have to show both.
you have to show both your cards. That's
That's
a
a weird rule.
Canterbury
They
rule.
should change that.
That's a terrible rule.
But on that hand, if Kirby had one pair,
Right.
he wouldn't be betting. He or she would be trying to get to showdown usually.
Okay.
So then you
I
can
didn't see how the hand
you
played out
kind of
'cause
take
Paul walked
just
in.
one pair hands out of his range, so he's polarized.
Right on.
He either is bluffing or has 2 pair plus.
And that's why
I don't want people thinking.
that's why I have you in the booth.
You know, just given. Yeah. Josh, explain it. Josh Reichert, 8-time WSOP circuit ring winner, is commentating.
So he told me to explain it, which I just did.
Yes.
Why like you'd think about calling with 9 high there?
Yes.
10 folds.
It's almost like you guys are in the booth together every weekend.
Usually Chad's just a statistician in the
Right.
back with his computer looking up numbers.
But he hears you, and a lot of the osmosis he gets the
Right.
intelligence from.
Seat 5 folds. Seat 6 checks is out.
Yeah, that was a tough beat
3
for you,
players.
Paul. No,
Yeah, it was.
set over set. You just can't do anything about that one. But you still got to put a little cash in your pocket, I guess, and
Checks. Seat 8 checks.
maybe you had some fun.
Yeah,
It was a good
it was a
time.
lot of fun. I hope you do it again, and
That's 9.
I wouldn't mind playing again.
Seat 6 folds.
A little nerve-wracking coming into it.
Yeah, right at first, probably, yeah.
How, the intimidation factor. You've
Mhm.
got Matt Kirby, WSOP bracelet winner,
Yeah.
Chad Holloway. You've got MSPT Season 6 Player of the
You're
Year.
playing tomorrow in the MSPT main event. Yeah.
I think that kind of played into a lot of the. I mean, I couldn't see the
Mark?
cards, but I think a lot of the Joes are playing a little nittier than they normally would in the bar league
Oh.
because of the
Eighth
intimidation
finale.
factor. But I couldn't see
That's
obviously.
Liz played
Player of the Year
phenomenally
race?
aggressive
Really?
with nothing.
There's 2 left.
So Margaret, she started out like a little loose, but then she
It's pretty
took a
tight,
big hit
actually.
right
So
away the first
guy
couple
who's in
hands,
the
and then
lead
she
is
tightened up
actually
big time after that.
Buffalo, New York. Yeah, he won one
But
of
you
the
would know
MSPT
more about how they
500
usually play
record
than I would.
Finished 5th the time before. So just those 2 finishes
Seat
alone.
8 calls.
Keith Heine, who he finished
Seat
second
10
in the
folds.
regional
Well, they're talking about the Player of the Year.
earlier this year.
There's going to be so many people here. Osama from
5 folds.
Colorado sent me a text saying he's coming up for the Player of the Year.
A lot of the Minnesota
Owaida, I think his last name is pronounced.
they haven't been in the past.
He
7 checks is out.
I'm sure
He's
Eric
doing really well.
Johnson
He only
will
plays
run
in
down the list,
Colorado.
if you're listening.
3 players.
He wants to run down the Player of the
I
Year
was
list.
pull-
That's what Chad usually does when
Yeah.
you in here stuff like that.
I was
He
gonna say,
promotes,
I'm right
endorses,
here.
and then he runs the stats.
So we've got Chris Myers, Keith Heine, Mike Shanahan, Max Havlish, Keith Block. All of them, those are the top 5 will be here. Rounding out the top 10, Ahmed Talib, Jason Ramos, Alkaf Matawala, I'm
Wow,
probably
he's just
butchering
raking them
these
in.
names. Big Al Heaton, and Depresh Skates are the top 10.
So where's the cutoff in points? Like this event will give how many points
This
do you
event,
think?
let's say 500, right?
Okay.
So that'll give it 1,600 points.
1,600 for the winner.
So right now it's 3,350.
Anybody who has 1,750 or more.
1750 or more, and that's Braden at 14,
Yep.
Jason Bender at 13,
Yep. So
Nader
14th
in
place
12,
and above all have a chance
and
at it,
Osama in 11th place with 20.
assuming that we get 500 plus players.
Assuming we get 500, and assuming nobody above you gets points. So yeah, it's a good one.
From Canada.
Yeah, if
Okay.
Chris Myers is here and even cashes, then some of those guys no longer have a chance.
Right. And everybody I've talked to, Chris is coming, Keith Heine's already, he's in my hotel, Mike Shanahan's coming, Max lives here, so he'll be here.
I saw Keith out in the satellite.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Keith Heine.
Ahmed's, you commentated on him at the final table in Potawatomi.
Yep.
He's got He's graduating this weekend.
So
He's
can't,
got family
can't
up.
come.
He's gonna figure out how he can get away. I met a med.
What about Keith Block? He probably won't make the trip.
Keith Block probably will not make the trip from New York.
Right.
That started the table that are not from Minnesota.
Well, his relatives are.
My grandfather's from Minnesota.
Yeah, fair enough.
Players from Minnesota, and they're finally getting the respect they deserve. You know, tough and strong players.
And the Player of the Year, the MSPT Player of the Year, Kimosabi sponsors it. They get a $250 certificate at every stop to play in a satellite or to take off their main event buy-in. And something new, they're getting 4 $1,100 main event seats at any stop they want.
Minnesota player.
And then they
Taxes?
they get
Condler and Associates or something?
yeah,
Do they get
Condler and Associates will
Yeah.
do their taxes, and that's like an $800 value. And a Vegas trip. We're going to the Venetian 7 times this year. In the June trip, it's a $1,500 package, which is $400 for your airfare and $1,100 main event seat.
Yeah, it's
So that's fun. It's a nice little package just for
it's
just
real
for
nice.
doing what you're
It's
gonna
just
do anyway.
more incentive to come out to the MSPT tour and come out and try to put in some volume and get yourself a shot at that added incentive for Player of the Year. Chad shoved over Kirby's open with 6s and Kirby folded. He was a little light with the ace-deuce suited.
I do think, like, pound for pound, Minnesota players, I'd take them over most any other state. Florida.
Telling a fat joke or something?
It's because we weigh more, he says. Big Keith in the 2-seat, that's because we weigh more.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
Yes, can I have a Kimosabi Mezcal margarita?
It doesn't look like too many
I
of
would
these
love to
guys
buy
have missed a
anybody
meal
else who
recently.
wants to drink. Especially Kimosabi Mezcal.
Speaking of
You
Kimosabi.
gonna try to play satellite tomorrow morning or anything like that?
I'm not sure. As long as I'm down here, I already took work off. It's different.
It's
Yeah.
Mezcal, it's like tequila.
I mean, it's
Kimo,
a
Speak up so the microphone gets you.
See this
Yeah, you
one,
are.
see the banner? Yeah, that's it. They're a sponsor, and it is really good. Which one? Either or.
It was about. I know I'm not as far up as some of the other Joes, but it's about a 2.5-hour drive for me, so it's kind of a waste of time if I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
For the record, I feel like
Not very often I get down here, but it is it's a beautiful place. I love playing here.
Yeah, like Chad was talking about, they have good food options. I like
Great,
the food
yeah.
here. How about that MSPT,
The MSPT
sandwich? That one looks
sandwich?
good. I'm looking forward to trying that. Have you tried one?
I've tried 3.
3? Oh, the line was way low. What was it, 4.5 you said?
4.5.
That was a low line.
Yeah, that was a little line.
So they're as good as they sound?
They're good. I figured I would have one a day, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I might not get one Sunday, so I put it at 4.5.
He said he's going to resign.
I had
in
two
a couple of
two
weeks.
Wednesday, one this morning, so yeah, it's.
And I've heard,
I'll probably
I
have
was
4 or
listening to
5 more.
commentary saying
Yeah,
there's a
you're
couple
going to
big
be,
boats
by
in between
midnight
down there.
tonight, you'll be
And
over
he does have the
4.5.
option. He
Oh,
has
for
not
sure.
submitted a
And 2 more.
official,
Let me pull this up really quickly so I can
That is
be
the
accurate.
order of the day.
It's the MSPT. The M is maple chipotle pulled pork. The S is smoked cheddar.
Oh.
The P is pecan smoked pork shoulder bacon. The T is Trader Al Slaw. It's like a coleslaw they put on it, and that's all in a grilled pretzel bun, served with chips and a pickle. $6.75, and they are fabulous.
Great price, local ingredients, and great combination.
Here we go.
If you follow me at MSPT Eric on Twitter, you can see pictures of all of my food.
That's going to get you many more followers. So yeah, Keith shoved, I think, maybe. We missed it. I think Keith shoved and Kirby called. I doubt Keith limped and then called off.
All right.
Let's see, we can see the action tractor afterwards.
Chapter 6. Yeah, you're tough.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. Sorry, I was talking about the
Keith
sandwich
is
and I
gone.
missed
Yeah,
the
we
action
lost
there.
track of the action, but I would guess when it folded to Keith in the small blind, he
He just
shoved,
shoved,
just hoping
right.
Kirby would fold.
Yeah, and I don't hate that. I mean,
Kirby had to wake up with a hand.
right.
So you won the new convertible for being the last Joe standing, right?
Yeah.
You got to
Hey,
drive
Oliver.
the top down though. That's
Oliver
the
wins a
problem.
$250 seat tomorrow.
How did I know Kirby would get up there? I just said
And Oliver's holding his own. He's got over 2 times the starting stack.
I'm gonna take it as
Yep.
a compliment that I was
Nice.
doing against you.
I'm like 3 wins and 17 losses in fights, Kirby. But if I ever hear you seriously complain about bad luck, I'm gonna try as hard as I can for that board.
I'll back him up.
Yeah, they're talking on Twitter, or on Twitch, excuse me. They're talking about Wow folded the queen there. And then Poker Sniper says brutal set over set.
Folds and 8 folds.
There's the very next game. When he had kings, he had
Yeah,
queens.
they
right
rewarded
hand
him for
before that,
folding,
and he
making
won.
the great fold with the queens.
If he doesn't fold the queens, he's down to 3K, and you're still in the.
I enjoyed it. Like,
You
I
get
liked
the
it.
Go
3K.
ahead, pour the salt on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
So
Dump it
I'm
on
just
there.
pointing out
Twist the
how
knife.
fabulous
Oh, I hope-
Kirby's
alright, let's-
fold was there. And now he
Let's
just
see,
shoves
you're
it.
not gonna like what you see.
See, that's what's supposed to happen in the
Wait,
small
what was
blind
this?
when you shove.
You showed
They're
us
supposed to
that.
wake up with the
Pocket
7
Jackson.
deuce.
I've run the bluff a couple times with people that Max Holloway is my Hawaiian brother. And my dad went to
All right, Max Holloway's a UFC fighter, if you don't know.
I met a girl named Lili Ukalani.
And I've
Little
lost
fun
many
fact,
bets
the last
with Chad because
princess, or maybe
he doesn't
queen
know
of
who
Hawaii.
Max Holloway is, but because of the name,
read a book.
he takes. I'll take Max Holloway, and Max is.
No, it was good though. Like, I mean, clearly,
He's been crushing it. So for the last 2 years, I've lost every bet that Max Holloway fights.
But he gave it a good fight. And,
So-
20 bucks.
Yeah, $20 a fight. You know, so I'm.
I wanna see
Yeah,
a
nothing
Holloway McGregor
crazy.
fight.
We just do it for fun. I normally
How
do
about
beer
the,
bets.
penultimate
Kirby
fight?
6s, Tom ace queen. Oh, Mark raised. So, oh, Mark 3's raised. If he had not raised, Kirby and Tom probably would have gotten all in. But now, yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen.
4 calls.
I wonder if Tom goes all in here. He might just call and see a flop.
I like the shove. In
Five got
a
out of there.
raise and a limp.
Swear he was
With-
French
with
in
10 big
World War
blinds.
II.
Seat 6
No.
folds. Heads up.
Who is this?
Tom is tighter than
You got any tips, man?
a drum tonight. And this is not usual, Tom.
No.
Oh, I didn't even see that. You know, you call it, you know they're gonna fire out and then they priced in.
I would at least defend with that hand, but you know, to each their own. You can't lose the chips you don't put in the pot.
No, I remember now.
Seat 7 check. Seat 4 check.
Ooh.
Good run out
Mark
for
is playing
Kirby,
the
and then
board.
I think he's gonna find a call here. He's gonna pick him off.
Seat 7 bets 3,500.
Yeah, he
Snapped
calls
him.
really quickly.
Snapped him off.
Show in.
Actually, I'm playing the board.
Wow.
I make 5. Oh, I was dead to that cry to 3-4. I make running.
What a hand. What a run out. Well, I'm glad I got position on
fold.
the chip leader.
Mr. Hammers.
Yeah, if he shoved, I think Mark would have folded, but Kirby probably would have reluctantly called the extra 6K. So either he
Yeah.
saved the 1,300 by not defending, or he saved a stack by not shoving. What's it?
Did you hear that clicking? Just a second. Let me roll through.
Seat 8 folds. Seat 10 folds. 4 folds, 5 folds.
You got 40,000.
Hold my button lightly.
Yep.
We haven't seen Mark's cards yet.
Seat 6
Oh, yeah,
calls.
Mark, we need your cards.
Seat 7. Checks his
I would have
option,
shoved with
heads up.
Tom's hand, but he's more of a
There they are.
survivor than I am.
Seat 6 checks.
Everybody-
Yeah, he's gonna get more action out of it this way.
Seat 6 is
Is that
all
everything?
in.
I think
Yeah.
he gets paid. Right? Because Mark has a bunch of chips. It's
Mark doesn't have a bunch of chips anymore because
Oh, that's right.
he doubled
Yep.
Chad in
Yep.
when he had the nut flush. Chad had nut flush, and then
Yep.
he just bluffed off to Kirby there when he got counterfeited. Mark sometimes doesn't like folding in spots like this, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him call. But I wouldn't be surprised if he folded either.
Good fold. He didn't love it.
Well, we would have won the last race. This is the race we had 1, 3, 5, and 7, but.
You got my 12 bucks.
That place now, they went to that synthetic surface. I mean, I've never done it.
No, it changes things.
Yeah, I don't know when they're gonna do away with it altogether. They're just
Eights and ace king. Ryan has eights under the gun with 5.7 big blinds. Everybody else would go broke here. Ryan, I don't know. We'll see.
1K to call.
Okay. Well, maybe not go broke. I mean,
Right,
go all in
right,
and then
right,
flip.
C5 folds.
That's my pump fake. No, I mean,
Seat 6.
I just, you doubled through me earlier. Oh, there's a real Hail Mary.
Seat 7's all in.
like I said,
Hey, how you doing? Seat 8 folds. Please show both hands.
can I win one time?
It's a fair fight. No ace or king was folded, right?
Yeah, there was an 8 folded, but Ryan's got the best hand. He just needs to hold. Good flop for Ryan. What are we going to put? A deuce of spades on the turn for a wheel draw, flush draw, 2 overs, and then a brick on the
There
river.
you go.
Too many outs.
Oh,
4 of spades, the
There you go,
exact
there you
same
go.
card,
Yep.
pretty much.
Yep.
But it's going to be a brick on the river. I think it's going to be a red
8
jack.
of clubs.
No. Ryan's done.
Thanks, Ryan. Take care, Ryan.
The first pro eliminated, right?
Yes, sir. We're down to 5.
Don't do that. Just say.
Don't cheapen it.
No, I'm not trying to. I'm trying to be honest.
Don't cheapen it by saying you're sorry.
You've been nothing but kind to me all night.
No. I said that to everyone about the time. Like, you're sorry. Give me 20% of yourself. You might just bet. No, you ain't that sorry now.
You're right.
5 players with Oliver in the second place.
2 from the money.
Kirby's got a
Still
stranglehold
standing. Thanks,
We
Ryan.
lost
with that
no.
set over set.
We lost nobody in the first 2 hours, and now we lost 5 players in the next
That's
40
tournament
minutes
poker.
or so. Yeah.
Take
Yeah, I
care.
think
Structure
last
is
year-
catching
I
up
don't know
with the
how they did that,
stacks.
but yeah, I know what you mean.
Seat 5 folds.
It would be cool. I don't know if they are streaming it like out,
Seat
could
6
technically
folds.
stream it on the TV up there and stuff, which would be cool.
Seat 7 raises to 2,300. Seat 8 folds. Seat 4 folds.
Oliver, tell me, how and when did you, learn to play poker?
Been playing about a year and a half. 2 years.
Okay.
And what?
A year and a
My
half.
cards, and I've got fairly decent snap skills.
Right.
In fact, they got a nickname for me.
Oliver just told him he's been playing poker for about a year and a half.
Which is?
The Brain Man.
Fair enough.
Wow.
So you're a weather forecast.
I think he's bluffing.
Yeah, I'm part native, so I go out and do the rain dance.
Meteorology.
So how did you, what got you into it a year and a half ago?
My neighbor, well, maybe 2 years. My neighbor, he plays a lot. And I knew the parameters of the game.
Right.
I find it enjoyable.
King 10 suited for Tom, and
Seat 6 raises
he's
to
going to raise it up.
2,300.
And
Seat
here
7
you are, though.
King Jack in the big blind. I think Chad will
Seat 4
defend
folds.
My wife likes to play
for
this
2.5 big blinds.
That's true.
I brought her here and then took her back to the motel.
2.3 big blinds. That's an easy call.
I don't know what you got there. I could double you take no effect.
Chad says I could double you,
I worked at the racetrack. You can beat the
and he
Seat 5 checks.
hits his 10. Yeah, he's
Yeah, Tom
Chad's
has it.
Chad's gonna
Chad's
go
gonna
away.
fold, yeah.
Yep.
I fold.
Seat
I got
six,
two.
He hates it.
all in.
Two face cards. Not
C5
fold.
fold.
I was ready. This was a king, and that was a jack.
I think that's eight to Tom.
Yeah, that's gotta be. Yeah, from the small
Yeah,
blind.
small blind. Hard to-
Quiet Tom. Who is this doppelganger? It's not the Mr. Hammers
Yeah.
I know.
Anybody else have a count? You'd have done the same, right, Tom?
What?
You'd have done the same.
You got to
Yeah, I'd
appreciate
give it a-
when they bring you your drink in a red solo cup, right? That's
Well, after you've had
Well,
the-
Tom doesn't drink here at Canterbury, so
No.
that could have to do with his personality
Yes.
being a little more on
Subdued?
the subdued side.
Yes.
that's some good Kimosabe mezcal.
Yes, he chooses not to imbibe in the alcoholic beverages when he's at the Canterbury Park.
C4 raises to 2200. C5 folds. C6 folds.
It's a fun little structure. You know, it's
Yeah, I mean it's not too
it-
fast,
it's-
not too
it is
slow.
what it is. You know, it's What are they watching? The races?
Season 9? I know what it is, but I can't reveal. There is to be determined. I mean, it is kind of determined. It's just a matter of finalizing the paperwork.
C4 folds.
Oh, he's talking about the new stop we have this year
C5
in
is
April
all in.
that we have on the calendar as to be announced.
C7 is all
Mark,
in.
snap called him with the queen 10 suited, which I don't blame him. That's a good call
All right.
against Chad's range.
Yeah, it's pretty much true. I'm going to do the stand-up trick.
Chad's ahead here.
No!
Flop delay.
Now Chad is no longer ahead. There's a 10 of spades on the flop. Chad needs backdoor straight, backdoor flush, or just a king.
King on the river.
Running threes.
Yeah, we didn't think about the 3-3.
Oh!
Oh,
Kings,
he
kings,
does
kings
get the
and
king.
threes.
I thought I was
Mark
going to go
started
sit by
off very
Margaret.
hot, and he got
Enjoy my Kimosabe mezcal margarita, but no. Got to win it for her now.
9,800. 98.
It's a stand-up trick, he says.
Looks like that $10 bill I slipped Jacob before the tournament really paid off.
It's
not
everybody
true.
know how cheap I am.
This dealer's nickname is Chopper.
This is Chopper.
Okay.
Well, Marco was right, though. I need
Canterbury
almost
House
50
dealer.
Right. So I
Yes.
Yeah,
One of
absolutely.
the best in house, I assume, if he's stealing this.
He's very good. He's also a floor,
This level.
which I
To
asked
be
for. I
honest,
said,
you
give
know
me
the
some
truth?
floors
Honestly,
that
I
can
looked at
deal
the king.
because I didn't want to waste them having a floor for
Right.
this table. So I said, we're gonna be real relaxed. It's gonna be for fun,
I looked at
but give me a dealer who
Lower
can
than a
floor. Give me a
7,
floor
maybe
who
not,
can
but
deal, and that's what I've got. So we're good. And they made the one
Raise
call.
300 total.
Other than that, it wasn't necessary.
C5 folds.
Ace 8, Ace 10, and then pocket fives here. I think from what we've seen with Tom, I guess he's probably gonna fold, right? I don't know. Maybe he likes pairs better. He folded the king queen or the ace queen a couple times. Yeah.
7 is
Folded.
all in.
Kirby's gonna call and have Mark dominated here.
Seat 8 full, seat 4 calls. Showing.
And that's a table awareness that Tom
This-
has,
Yeah.
knowing that this is what's going to happen with. Whereas when Chad shoved, not realizing Margaret had 3 big blinds and she's going to call him, he's like, "Oh, I forgot about that with the 5 deuce."
opportunities.
Yeah, you got to be aware. Yep. But you don't know that Mark's gonna shove there for sure.
Right.
Yeah, he still has to have a hand.
Right.
It's a good card for Kirby. It takes away the 8 of hearts. Chop outs and then the 8s to win.
That does it, too.
3 6s with an ace
Chop
queen.
it up.
It's going to be a chop.
Yeah, nobody saw the 6 coming. No. Yeah, that's a chop, too.
I think it's 2 purple. All right, blinds are up. We are at 200 ante, 6 and 12. 2, 6, and 12.
Everybody else would have liked to see Mark not get there, to be four-handed and closer to the money, but
Our bikes, yeah, bikes.
can't always get what you
Big
want.
test this- Big test this week. Yeah. Big test this week.
5 folds. 6 folds and 7 folds. And we got raised
26.
to 2,600. 4 folds.
Kirby's decisions at this final table, like every time he's dominated, he folds. Every time he's way ahead, he calls. It's almost like his opponent's cards have been face up so far. It's been impressive.
Yeah, you could probably figure it out.
Where he folded the queens to Oliver's 3-bet, but then when Mark shoved on him, he quickly called with ace-10. And was correct both times.
Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Hot mic. Eric, edit, cut that. Yeah, that's what my one ex-Pokemon's colleague lives in Buffalo.
Seat 6 folds, seat 7 folds, 8 folds.
There's the walk. Yeah, just go for it.
C4 raises to 2,800. C5 folds.
I think Chad has played pretty well at this table too. He did lack awareness that one hand when he had the deuce 5.
Right.
He was getting out of line, getting a little aggressive, which he hadn't done. He just didn't realize that Margaret was almost all in the big blind. That was his only big mistake that I've seen.
Is that a heart? Which
I
one's
have
a
2
heart?
red cards, and if the king was the heart, I was going to call it.
Yep.
5 folds.
So, who's your favorite to win
You
this?
need to do. Hunting.
Mine?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oliver,
I can't help but take Kirby at this
Yeah.
point. He's looked the most comfortable, made the best decisions, and has the most chips. Likely the most experience as well.
Yeah.
So did you do any, when you were learning, you came to the game, did you buy any books or do any, just trial and error experience?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's been working out pretty well for Oliver, just the trial and error. He's been playing well.
Seriously? Oh, hey, being honest about your own game is a big plus.
Seat 7 is all in, seat 8 folds. Call. 8,600. Seat 5 folds.
I looked at the
Seat
one.
6 folds, please show both hands. Showing
I
6
looked
of
at the
spades,
ace.
6 of clubs. King of diamonds,
Kirby
nine
makes
of
a call with the king 9 of diamonds here, Mark shove, and they're off to the races. What would be a good sweat card? A 10 of diamonds?
10 of diamonds, jack of...
Jack of clubs. I guess it picks up the 10s.
Yeah.
Oh, always
King
on the
on
river
river.
for maximum pain.
Well, I mean, Kirby did have them all in with ace 10 versus ace 8, so he's supposed to win the flip
Supposed to win those.
after that, Mathematically, I mean, the hands are independent from each other, but mathematically, Mark shouldn't not get eliminated in one of those 2 hands.
And then there were 4.
And Oliver to Joe, hanging tough. What if it was pros versus Joes, and one of the pros' name was Joe? I stole that from Nick Ravello. He used that
Oh.
earlier today.
That's a good one.
That would be like a glitch in the matrix, right?
Pros versus Joe.
Raise 2,800. Seat 4 raises 2,800. Seat 5 folds. Seat 6 folds. Seat 8 folds.
Now Kirby's just going to lean on him. Kirby is really experienced shorthanded, more so in the final tables that I've seen. He where most people, when it gets down to 4, 5 handed, they get uncomfortable, and
that's his comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah, he likes that.
It actually wouldn't be that bad for the Saints, though.
Where Chad just got down 4-handed last week at his local casino. Him and Brandon.
And they chop. That's why you don't have experience shorthanded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was going to be my point. Is they got down to 4-handed, and they all got like almost second place money. First place gave a little bit of equity, and they thought it was a good decision for them. But what you lose for that 2,000, you lose the experience of getting 4-handed and 3-handed and heads up.
Mark in the booth with us as well. Mark and Paul are both here. Mark got lucky to stay alive with the ace-8, but then couldn't win the flip. Got rivered.
I'm waiting for you to wake up.
Yeah, but I got behind on chips. I had some. I gave some chips away.
A little louder.
Yeah, I gave some chips away in spots I probably should have been a little tighter on.
Well, when you got counterfeited on the river in that one hand, the only chance you had to win was to bet, but
at it.
Kirby picked it off, unfortunately. This could be a double up for Chad. Yeah.
4 calls. Oh, showing ace of spades, 8 of
You know,
clubs.
stand-up trick. No bad
Queen of diamonds.
8.
Ace of diamonds.
No.
Chad calling for an 8. Oh no, that was Hammers calling for an 8.
That's pretty good.
There we go. That's the Hammers we know.
There you go. Chad's got a pretty big lead there.
Have you ever seen Hammers so quiet?
Yes, but never for this long.
Yeah.
And the whole key here is to get him to talk, and he
I'll bring a
is.
diamond for good measure.
Tom only has 2 speeds. The quiet, tight speed he has now are all out.
Yeah.
So what do you think about how the Joes played?
I thought everybody played well.
Everybody except for Paul played really well. No, just joking. No,
I mean,
everybody's
I
played
didn't
well.
see anybody make any really bad plays. Well, we all know our own mistakes and warts, but I thought everybody played well.
No, yeah, no. I mean, Paul's hand when he had the set over set. That's not. I mean,
Just go broke.
yeah, that's not your fault.
I go broke.
Early on, I think Margaret probably could have got away from her king 8.
Against you when you had aces.
Yeah. I mean, I think she needs to get away with that.
Yeah,
away from
yeah.
that.
She had a
and that kind of put her in a tough spot after that.
pre-flopping on the river. She should have gotten away for sure.
Right.
One of those 2 times.
But I mean, there aren't that many hands I saw out there that were that like that.
That was a big double up for Chad.
This is how you give him the wash.
I'm gonna.
See?
Are we next? One thing you don't know about yet.
Easy to give
The
the wash.
hand right before the one that Paul busted, when Kirby raised and Oliver 3-bet.
He made it
And
2.
Kirby
Kirby
just
made it
snapped
2K.
folded.
Oliver made it. He
Oliver
tried to make it
showed the aces.
4.5, but he made it 4.
Right.
He showed aces. Kirby snap muck queens.
Yeah.
Snap folded. The biggest mistake we saw, which happens sometimes, was
So we just learned
Keith.
a couple years
Keith
ago.
misread his hand.
He had the nuts, he had Broadway.
The biggest stage that you played on
And
then?
Yeah.
we're like, okay, Liz is out now.
Liz had aces and 8s. She
And
rivered 2 pair. He had king
check
10 on the
folds.
queen jack 8 x ace board, and he rivered Broadway.
Doing well.
So he had the
Folded?
nuts. Yeah.
And he mucks.
Yeah, but he
Do you have
misread
like
his hand.
Does he-
poker go bucket list thing? You want to play in Vegas?
Not
yet.
sure.
Unless he's talking to somebody.
C5 folds.
But anyway, I like both. Tom and Matt's play has been excellent, in my
There we
opinion.
go.
They've done a really good job. And quite frankly, Oliver's played well, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody's played pretty snug overall.
Right.
Nothing super out of line. But
You know, Chad's the biggest risk taker out there.
I can't
Yeah.
believe the hammers is folding.
Tom's been the tightest.
Ace queen pre.
Ace queen under the gun, he folded. Then when you raised the threes and Kirby had the sixes and called, Tom had ace queen in the big blind, just folded. And then another time there was a raise in front of him by Kirby, he had fives, he folded. But none of them were super unreasonable, just on the snugger side.
Well, with this structure, you know,
Early on.
particularly with 10, well, no, I'm not talking about early on. I'm talking about when you got to, at the end of the second break. At the end of the second break,
Yeah.
you got to come back aggressive.
Yeah.
Because they're just, your stack sizes, in my opinion, okay? And so, we'll see how long Tom can play the way that he's playing. Because I feel like that style is not the best style for this structure at the juncture that we're at now.
Yeah, early on there was a lot of room for play, but
Right.
later on the stacks have been more shallow and people have tightened up big time.
But all these guys
I won't be around
have
for
played
it.
for
It's
more
pretty
than
exciting
this.
in the Super Bowl.
Yes. they're not
Maybe
for
not.
the road
But
from here.
but I think even Oliver's not
Not this
swayed by
week,
this.
all
This doesn't bother him at all. So there's nobody here.
Nobody's
Nobody here is trying to see if they can
ladder
back
up
into
to
third.
1,000.
Right. I don't think anybody cares about the 1,000 right
No.
now. Nobody in here. I mean, maybe Oliver just decided. But I really don't. I've talked to Oliver all night. I don't believe he is.
I don't know. Chad's pretty underpaid by the MSBT. He might be worried about it.
Chad's pretty good right now with that 2K chop he took.
So did you guys pick up the whole Chad Margaret dialogue early on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you were able to report on that.
Yeah.
If the Miami
The
Dolphins
jokes
Denmark
between them where he said, who's your favorite player? She said you, things like that.
Well, before that, there was the math trick.
I know, right? Before I was
Right, the
born.
Denmark kangaroo
Yeah,
orange
yeah.
one that
Probably.
he played it perfectly. She played it perfectly as far as giving him the answer. She was a little flustered because she was trying to answer him and play her hands, and so there was a little bit of just back off a little bit, very politely though.
Right.
And so later on, he says,
But
"Who's your
this
favorite
year's
player?"
Super Bowl,
You are.
He says you are, and just
I'll
bam.
be
So
in
I
Las
thought that was the
Vegas
best.
for the
He backed off from there.
Super
So.
Bowl II.
I like Margaret.
We had
something that-
almost
that,
700 last year.
I didn't realize until
Last year was
Oh, he's talking about the
300K
Venetian
guaranteed,
Poker
this year's
Bowl.
500K guaranteed. So
I'll let him
bet you'll
finish
push
quick.
around 1,000. And we do it though, it's a little different than most MSPTs. Instead of running Friday through Sunday, we do it Thursday through Saturday. So you're guaranteed to be off Sunday for the Super Bowl.
Thank you for that Super Bowl, Poker Bowl plug, Chad. I was going to say all of my Joes, except for Oliver, are tournament directors at one of the venues. Apollo's in Duluth. Keith runs 3 of them over in the northwestern part of the state. Liz owns a bar in Fertile, and Margaret runs Bagley twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays.
6 has called.
And I didn't realize that until I was like listing them off. I'm like, oh, this is a tournament. They're all tournament directors. So that was an interesting. And Oliver just flops
Middle
the
pair for
jack.
Tom and Jack high flush draw, 5 of the heart.
Seat 6
Oh.
is full.
But he takes it down with the aggression.
Okay.
Oliver's done a lot of that, you know. He's just taking some pots down without showdown.
You haven't told us, Oliver. True.
Yeah, Oliver is one of those players that, of the 5 Joes, that he'll keep betting until somebody challenges him. I felt like all the other
Where's
players
the strangest place you've ever played poker?
were
Not
easier
like-
to read
I'll give you an example for me. This
as
is
far
fun.
as
So we played
when
on
they
a-
bet they had.
Sorry, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it. I was gonna give you time to think about it. Oh, mine's not that cool. It was like in the middle of like a Wisconsin cornfield on the back, upturned wood carton, yeah, and a campfire to light it.
Seat 4 makes it 2,800. Seat 5 folds. Seat 6 goes all in.
Now Tom is changing up his game like you talked about to see if he's going to continue playing it how he is, and he built up the image, and now he's picking up some pots because of it.
Yeah, and I felt like Tom should have done this a little bit earlier.
When he shoved the King 7 suited there is probably ahead of Kirby's opening range. Kirby hasn't been out of line too much to this point, but
No, he
this is
hasn't.
when he's going to start getting out of line.
Right.
now. So if Tom picked up on that, and now he's picking up the free chips
And that's a
out
big
there.
pop for Tom, because as you can see,
It is, yeah. He went from
as you
9
can see,
big blinds
from 9
to
to 13. It's a
13.
big difference. Now he's half of the taller, biggest stack. He's virtually, you know, he's one hand away from being the chip leader. So
Yep.
it's a very big pop.
It's been killing me all.
A lot of people would look at the King 7 suited and just fold right there.
Seat 5 folds. Seat 6 folds. Seat 8 makes it 2,600. Seat 4 calls. 2 players.
2,600.
Kirby's let Oliver get away with this every time, so now, I mean, he's got a way better hand this time, 6-7 suited. Oh,
that's a
action
beautiful
flop.
Absolutely action.
This might,
See,
Kirby
that's
might,
3,000.
Kirby might just raise.
Kirby
But
has
he's been sticking
flatting.
to lower variants,
he's
so
been
yeah,
flatting
he's
here.
flatted some flush draws. Okay.
Or else all in.
Oh, that's tough for Oliver because
That's an excellent play by Kirby. The way he's been playing, he's been flatting there.
Yep.
yeah, he has.
Oliver's going to let this one go.
Yeah, open it with 2 overs.
It's tough to call off
Yeah.
with a draw.
Particularly where he's, and that's,
You've got 11 outs, sir. You're forgetting your overcards.
Well, I mean,
I know.
he's counting way different outs. His 8s are outs too, but he doesn't know that his spades aren't outs.
Should
He
never
had
have
8
thrown
outs
pass.
to the well, no, not because
He
oh,
used
6
to get
outs to the
straight.
nuts. 6 outs to the nuts. 8 outs to the straight. Yeah.
That's what he was counting on, is his straight.
Yeah.
Play it
Minute
safe, you're
and
field goal
45
range,
seconds
pass,
to
go
break.
overtime, like-
Did you get to talk to anybody at break? You call home and...
I had talked to my wife earlier and asked her if she wanted to watch, and she said, yeah, I'll watch. I'm going to
Okay.
pay bills, and I'm going to watch. So I called her at the end of the first break. And when I talked to her at the first break, unfortunately,
they got
she was
2
fighting the
timeouts,
stomach
so-
flu and
Okay.
had no
Oh, really?
no interest in this anymore. So, but
She went, that was fun. You're on your own.
she goes, how you doing? I'm going, I got most of the chips.
I'm crushing this. That's a good 3 levels.
I know. Unfortunately, and that's not enough.
Tom's hand is hidden.
Tom folded.
3.5K. Oh,
Tom folded
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
Oliver
Seat
raised.
Seat 6 folded. Seat, yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah,
Seat 6
that
folded.
was, the dealer didn't tell,
Seat 8
yeah.
made it
Brandon.
35.
and
I wonder what Kirby does here.
Seat 4 made
Brandon's doing a great
75
job
total.
on his
Seat
for his
5
first
folded.
solo venture at the Action Tracker.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Seat 8 is called.
Clock stop now, or?
And we got 40 seconds. Then it will.
Kirby setting the trap.
And he's
Yeah.
got it.
Seat
That
4
worked.
check. Seat check. Yeah. Check.
I don't
Then 8 went all in, and then 4.
I don't
called.
blame you for shoving when he checks there.
No. Trap.
The 10 or
Front
jack.
runner.
Yeah.
Jack or
10
10.
jack, I'll
Oh,
sweat.
It's all over.
King of spades, queen of diamonds against the ace of
Oh, we got our bubble boy.
Yeah, I mean,
And you're on
Oliver,
break.
you played well.
Nice playing with you, Oliver.
Hey, you really did
excellent.
play well.
We'll
I
see
don't
you all
blame
in 10 minutes.
That's okay.
I don't believe you that you've only played for a couple years and you need
Yeah, see, it's definitely much more, seems much more. It's fair.
Raised to 4,000. Call. Seat 7 calls. Seat 9 folds. 2 players. Seat 7 checks. Seat 3 bets 4,000. Seat 7 goes all in. Seat 3 calls.
You have the king of clubs, king of diamonds against the ace, 8 of clubs.
4 clubs.
5 of clubs on the third.
Deuce of hearts.
Clubs on the river.
25-7.
on, let's turn this on.
Oh,
Little snafu on my part, I accidentally,
here.
Chad,
We're good?
Yeah, Chad just doubled up. We missed it for a moment because we had some
Look at
slight
the hand.
technical
Oh my
difficulties,
gosh.
but Kirby had top set, Chad had nut flush, and Kirby ended up making second nut flush.
Wow. No, I
I was hoping we didn't miss much, you know, maybe a raise and take.
That was a big hand.
Yep, Chad's got a big chip lead now.
I think if I follow the
When it comes around to the Twitch stream, tell us what happened. Did they go all in pre-flop or?
Kirby flop top set, Chad went
Kirby, yeah.
Chad went run or not flush.
I think he turned the nut flush though. He had ace eight of clubs, right?
The 3 was a spade.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. There's only 3 clubs on the board. Yeah, so we missed. We needed. We
we
need
missed
to know
a
what-
huge hand.
Seat 9 folds. Seat 3 goes all in. I got an ace.
Unbelievable. Chad.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the ace. I had
He just got all those chips, he doesn't want to give them back.
I get it. Kirby took advantage of that.
Yep.
It's amazing. One of the hardest things to do in this game is to reset after every hand. You know, every hand you got to get back to even. You know, mentally.
Yep.
It's really hard to take those highs and lows out of it. Like right there, I would say, if the pot that Chad just won was 5 hands ago, Chad makes that call. But he's
Ace
not-
high three-handed.
And from Kirby's perspective, he was trying to stop Chad from setting a tone that he was going to run the table over now that he had the chips. That's probably why Kirby did that.
Right.
Is the game over? Seat 9 has gone all in? Yeah.
You
Seat
know,
3
Kirby's
is
only
folded.
what, a 60-40 dog there, so.
Yeah.
Which is why Chad's like, I just got these chips, I don't want to double you up.
Now, where's our chip counts? Also, I think to back Chad's decision, I think that he's got half the chips.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe
So
even
he can
slightly.
There's
play
100
the
chips in play.
Right, so he can play the other 2 off of each other right now. So he doesn't have to take spots like that.
He doesn't have to take a 60-40 pre.
If it was a 60-40. If he knew it was a 60-40, I'm sure he would have
I think
called.
whoever wins.
But he probably felt like it was a worse situation
Yeah,
than that.
I mean, ace 10 is something that
or
could be there very easily.
a round of MSPT sandwiches, which are really good, by the way.
A round. That's true. A round of sandwiches costs the same as a round of kimosabi margaritas.
They were really good. Whoever came up with that recipe.
Chad just said the winner
They're
should
great.
buy a round of kimosabi margaritas or a round of MSPT sandwiches.
All in.
So where did the over-under
7
end up, Eric, on how many sandwiches you're going to eat this week?
We were talking about that already.
4.5 is going to get blown out of the water.
He set it at 4.5, and he's already consumed 3.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I thought Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday I might not get one. So I figured I'd eat one every day, and I ate 2 Wednesday and 1 today. I'm probably going to eat another one when we leave here. Probably 3 or 4 more tomorrow.
For those of you that are coming out this weekend, I say thumbs up for the $6.75 MSPT sandwich, the pulled
Yeah.
pork sandwich.
So good.
Fold. Seat 7 folds. Seat 9 folds.
At break, we moved players around so you could get a better view.
Wow, we just 1224 level. Thought it went. Oh, so you skip 816, but we get 1224.
It'll show it right next. After the clock, the stack will show up.
Just forget the whole 816 level, but we'll add the 1300, 2600 on top. At least there's not the most useless level I've ever encountered.
They're making fun of your structure, Eric.
700, 1400.
Yeah, the circuit used to have 700, 1400. They don't have it anymore.
Nobody should. 9 folds. 3 calls. 7 checks the option. Heads up. checks, seat 7 checks.
There's the money card.
Yeah, they both hit a pair.
I don't think they're gonna bet it though.
Three checks,
Yeah.
seven
That's
Yeah.
it. Two pair running around.
They're
two
both
pair
just happy
doesn't.
to get to the river.
Yeah.
Oliver's joined us in the booth now too after his excruciating 4th place finish, but
I'm talking to your
it was a good
granddaughter
run.
right
He-
now.
He outlasted all the Joes.
How old is she?
23.
Okay, then it's okay if she says damn.
Yeah.
Okay. She said, I'm impressed he's the last Joe standing. That means he got the bonus seat, right? And Derek DiMaggio, I'm a big fan of Derek out of Wisconsin. He says, I believe he won the seat in tomorrow's satellite. Heather says, awesome.
You didn't
And,
give any spoilers, did you?
Nope, they're talking. I'm
Oh,
reading
okay,
what they're
okay.
saying.
I thought you might have told.
And Heather said, oh, damn, see ya. And Derek says, call your grandpa, congratulate him now, tell him I said good game. So good game from Derek.
Yep.
Who's Derek?
Derek's, he's a guy that
He's
plays
from
the games.
Wisconsin. He plays in some of the Wisconsin tournaments and stuff.
Nearly double my highest card. Let's do it.
Dennis Tracy pulled the blues.
I got Margaret on.
Yeah, snap folded. That was, and the
didn't-
next
he
hand he
didn't
had
think
kings
too much
and,
about
he,
it.
and he busted Paul.
Paul, Kings versus Sixes.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's-
next hand.
Well, with aces, because there was only him left.
Yep.
I wanted to get a little,
Yep.
a little raise, but I didn't necessarily want him to go away.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a little
See,
surprised.
that's something
I
I see
think-
most of the amateurs do, and I've noticed that from playing with everybody, and I mean, I'm an amateur too. But they overbet.
But I wouldn't.
So
Take
Kirby's a
that.
smart thinking player.
Yeah.
So I think that he saw your size of your bet,
Right.
and he knew that you didn't want him to fold most likely. You know.
Yeah,
He
it was,
might-
please call me
Yeah,
back.
exactly. He might have picked up on that.
So if I'd have shoved, he had more chance of you to call me.
Maybe, yeah.
Though to be honest with you, even if he's thinking that, I'm thinking
Gentlemen,
I'll put
anybody else like Keisha's
2,000
here?
more in to set mine.
It's a min raise. Let me see if I can bink a queen.
Nah, he didn't have enough chips to set mine mathematically, not even close.
Yeah, he had
Yeah,
13,
gotcha.
Yeah.
and you had 11.
Okay, yeah. In this structure.
And then if you call and you think you're set mining, but it comes 4,
10,
7,
4,
10,
7,
yeah.
yeah.
You're like, oh,
Oh,
now
you-
you're
you-
like,
you-
you just
you-
check fold, I guess, yeah.
I mean, if
We
you're
use
gonna,
the same numbers, 4, 7, 10. Just a prick.
you guys have done this before.
Jacks for Chad.
He has. This is my first time in here. I like it.
Let's see what Kirby does here. This is a hand Kirby could
He
get a little
limped to
jiggy
10-7.
with.
Yeah, he limps 9-8 too. Chad's gonna raise it up to 6,000.
Yeah. Maybe 6.
6-7 makes it 7,000.
like
7,000.
7,000.
Kirby's really disciplined.
He is. I don't know if you guys can hear whispering Mark back here.
Sorry, guys. I feel like I'm talking to these two guys.
Yeah. We're just all chummy, but we got to yell so the guys at home can hear it.
Yeah, when you talk about amateurs and overbetting their hands, sometimes I agree with that, and so I like that you didn't overbet so you could get some action. It just happened to be against a player that picked up on.
I think
picked up on it. You know?
8 other players at the table go broke in that hand.
Yeah.
Which one?
Anybody else?
They had the queens. If anybody
Yeah.
else had the queens.
Anybody
then
else with
probably wouldn't
queens
have got
goes
away.
Wouldn't have, not
broke.
me, because I had a bigger stack than you.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You know, I almost-
everybody else loses 11K, and that's what I said. I said, here's where I lose 11K.
Seat 3 makes it 4,000.
Kirby might have to call this time when Tom shoves, and he'll be happy to be flipping.
Put all in, right?
He-
Seat 9 goes all in.
And he didn't. He just raise folded to 7.5 big blinds. Which
Just threes.
mathematically isn't. He was getting too good of a price to like fold mathematically there, but he doesn't want to take any risks. because
Which
it's-
I think
it's-
that makes sense.
It's a
for-
decent amount of his stack still. He still had to call like 11K more.
I think Matt's thinking right now he's the best player at the table too, so he
Yeah.
doesn't have to take bad spots.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Agreed.
Sure he has that thought process going.
And he wants redemption. He got second place last year in the pros versus Joes. Matt did.
Who got first?
One of the Joes.
Nice.
I got third.
Nice.
Seat 7 folds.
Kirby's gonna call this off if Hammers does shove. But no.
No, that's not a hand that Tom's going to do that with.
When Keith shoved the small blind, I thought that was pretty good play. If it folds around him, he's got a small blind. He just shoves. Matt
Did he
has
shove
to.
Jack 6 suited? Did he just shove with that?
Yeah, he shoved Jack
Okay.
6 suited.
Yep.
I didn't have any problem with that. He still
Yeah.
had 2 live cards going in.
And Matt has to wake up with a hand.
Matt has
call
to
him.
have a hand.
Right,
that he
right.
can
No,
call.
you have to make.
That's what
That was,
Matt-
King's play was a good play. Did you guys talk to him afterwards?
At the break, he was kind of kicking himself, and I said, "No, that was standard. That was a good play. That was
that's
fine."
particularly with this structure.
Yep. I said, "You're fine. Folds around to you. Just shove. He has to. A, he folds, or B, you're 60-40 and you get there. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst thing."
C9 fold. C3's all in.
And now he's gonna lose.
Come on,
his
Chad.
stack.
No, Chad made.
No,
I
you
think he's
gotta-
going to call this one.
You got to call this one. He's been pushing you around too much.
He's gonna let it go.
Oh,
you
my
can't.
God.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Show him the deuce.
Chad's gonna kick himself when he sees this. He's
Yeah.
He's had situations that he.
Now that Chad also told Kirby King Jack is what he had, Kirby can shove on him with any 2 cards when it folds to him. If Chad isn't calling King Jack, he's calling way too tight, so it becomes way more profitable to shove on
You
him.
can't show that King Jack there.
He didn't show it, but Hammers asked Kirby, "Is that you have King Jack over there?" And Chad said, "That's what I had."
I love.
We got the headphones. Makes it here. You want
No,
this?
I'm good.
This one's for the right ear.
I can really walk and chew gum.
Better suited.
C3 fold. C7's all in.
I have an ace. It's better to shove all in than to call all in.
59 fold.
That is true. You'd rather be the first in the pot than call off your stack.
Now, I don't know if I like that play right there. He's got, what, a 4-to-1 chip advantage on Tom there?
That's 9 big blinds, blind versus blind with a suited ace. It's, in my opinion, it's a slam dunk shove spot, but
How many big blinds does Chad have there? 25? Okay.
yeah,
He was over 30 a little bit ago. Okay.
if what would your other options that you would consider be? Just to limp?
Yeah, I was going to limp trap.
Okay, limp and then
Limp
call
call.
off when he shoved.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with it, but that's just
Tom
like
shoves.
C9 call.
Tom's limp trapping.
Yep.
C3 checks.
That's I think ace 3 suited is not quite strong enough to trap with. I mean, you can do it, but it's just a little higher variance.
C9 checks.
Well, and particularly the way that Chad's played lately.
But you're trapping Tom, who hasn't
C9 bets
really
11.
made any moves at pots either, so
He's made 1 or 2.
yeah. King 7 suited he had.
I think that when he flopped the straight and really overbet it, I think he was playing
Sorry guys, I was just
his
so thirsty.
image that Chad
The only thing that
knows.
can quench my thirst is a Kimosabi Mezcal Margarita. Kimosabi Mezcal. Triple award winner.
Chad's the endorsing champion. Him and Brian in here are like dueling endorsements when they're in the commentary booth. That's good. That's how you get all the sponsors. You endorse.
Oh, we
okay.
got trouble.
Kirby's gonna shove.
Kirby's in trouble here.
Chad's gonna
Yes.
call.
That is
And Tom's gonna grind his way to heads up if Kirby doesn't hit an
C9
ace.
folds. C3 raises all in. C7 calls. Ace of diamonds.
Okay, how'd that
half
happen?
clubs,
It just happens
King of
sometimes, I
diamonds,
guess.
King of clubs.
Did,
King of spades, 4 of clubs, jack of
Oh.
spades.
holy
More
crap.
outs.
Green ball.
More outs.
Yeah,
He needs a
flopped
queen.
top
He needs a
set.
queen.
Oh, there,
Four,
okay.
Not more outs.
No, now
That's
he's-
it. It's over and
He
out.
had 3 outs and now he's got 4.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, more out.
Yeah. Yeah. He went from 3 outs to 4.
I really
And then
like.
to 0.
I really like the way Matt played. Matt
Yeah,
played
I
well
agree.
Matt
today.
played full out.
I would say, if you just gave points for who played the best, I think Matt played the best.
If Eric's coming out to do anything.
Oh, I'm not.
You don't want to go put the cash on the table? Go get the cash and put it on the table.
Go put $300 on.
No,
Anybody got a roll of quarters?
The plate of hundreds.
You gotta do this though too, eh?
Tom can't pay too big.
I'm the only one that can do that in here. I don't want them to hear that. All right, where are we on chip counts?
40-9.
4 to 1.
4 to 1.
Yay, Chad. MSPT Media Director, Chad Holloway.
You gotta fix that, right? Yeah, I got it. That's right, we can hold up.
The action tracker.
Matt
would have
Kirby,
done it
former MSPT
Mr. Matt
commentator.
Kirby is in the booth. At the cage, they've got it for you. Yeah.
You don't want to come commentate with us? We need
Here.
more.
Just hit space bar.
I disagree. I disagree.
I don't know if these hands are live.
The snap.
They what? Rico. Brandon, to be fair, he's been doing a great job. He is learning the action track a little bit.
So what's your schedule coming up? A lot of people here don't play the same tournaments that you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna be here, and then I'm off through the year, and then beginning of January, January 3rd through the 15th, I'll be at Choctaw for the WSOP circuit, and then I have a big trip after that. I'm going to Australia, Melbourne for the Aussie Millions.
First time?
First time, yeah.
So that's very cool. What
Yeah.
is that on the bucket list or?
Yeah, Australia is one of the top destinations for me where I would enjoy to visit, you know, or was looking forward to visiting at some point, so I'm really looking forward to it. And the wife,
Yep.
starting the new year, had plenty of vacation time, so she's going to come with.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, it should be nice. How about you? What do you have planned?
You know, I don't have a plan yet for next year. We've got a lot of stuff going on with the family, so we'll see. I'm kind of taking it month by month, but I would like to play more circuit events. I think I've played one in Milwaukee, and so I'd like to do that a little bit more because there's a different group of players. There's some dynamics that are different.
One hand?
The game still is the same, but I feel like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, obviously the MSPT is superior to the circuit, you know, but it is another good alternative.
It's different in the sense that the circuit's got a series of tournaments, and the MSPT is really focused on the one main event.
Right. The MSPT is really. Tom called the Queen 3 suited versus 5s, and here they are. I don't blame Tom for calling off here. Chad might be shoving a lot wider than actually having 5s. But yeah, the MSPT is structured really well for. Chad got
The
sucked
queen
out
comes
on.
home.
Can he get the resuck?
Red card.
The MSPT is designed and built really well for amateur players that just have a weekend to burn, you know, and even with starting at the later time, you know, they can work on Saturday or Friday and then come play.
Absolutely.
So it's set up really well for that.
Absolutely.
Chad had it. Chad had it. He had to fade to 300.
Is that how that conversation started?
We
were kind
talking
of talking about his schedule, and then
schedules
we were
and
comparing
things
some
like that.
notes. That's all. We kind of went off track a little bit, but. All right, so now this gets a lot more interesting. That double up really puts Tom in a position to do a lot more things than he was in a position to do before.
31 to 18 is way more fun than 40 to 9.
So it's interesting to think of styles here. Tom has not shown his aggressive style very often, but he has that in him. It'll be interesting to see if he brings that into play now. And we've seen Chad kind of back off a little bit with Matt. So where's he going to go from here too? So
at some point, you know, you get shorter handed, you have to get more aggressive because otherwise the blinds and annies will eat you up. So I'm sure Tom understands that, and guess he's probably going to make adjustments.
well, both of these guys have been in this kind of spot before, so they understand.
That's 2,000. 2,9 fold.
You have been pretty low-key tonight, I might say so myself.
Yeah.
It's working, obviously.
Hammer's like, shut up and leave me alone. I could be quiet every once in a while.
At this point, it's really about playing your opponent.
I thought you were going to be, Tom Hammer.
So much of this is.
Hey, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Mixed bag.
He'll be fixing that.
Life
We'll
was
see if Brandon has to manually update the. Oh, it's the 1 point. Yeah, he got it.
Suite 7 raises to 65.
He was in the process of updating it when it displayed
Suite 9's all in.
what he had.
Suite
Chad with the frustration muck. He's like, man, I had this thing won. You got to get past that, stop thinking about that, and move on to the next round.
Who's walking around over there?
I don't know, maybe somebody was out
Back
there.
to say hi. Oh, it's Mr. Hockman.
Who?
Mike Hockman. What's he doing here? It's 11 o'clock at night.
So,
Floor guy or something?
so those of you that are out there, you just saw that when you get this short, you
What's
don't give up.
happening? Yes.
We're having confusion with the cage.
Okay. Matt Kirby gets $1,000. These other two are going to
Do you
get.
have this gentleman's name?
C9's all in. Seat 7 calls. We show both hands. Showing.
Come on
nine,
now.
7 of diamonds,
Bring
8
in
of
nine
diamonds, 8 hearts.
Bring it
Let's see a flop.
No bad beats.
Yeah, right. It's your one hand.
Is queen of diamonds, 6 of clubs, 3 of hearts.
Chad's, they're all in, and Chad has Tom drawing the 3 outs again for the tournament. So.
Spades of hearts.
Deuce.
All right, he's got a couple more outs. No, he doesn't.
10 of diamonds.
That's it?
And Chad holds. Chad played well. Tom played well. Everyone played well.
Sorry.
Excellent. Come on out and play the MSPT 114. Satellite tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Main event starts at 4 p.m. Late registration until 10:30 p.m.
Yep, we're here at Canterbury Park in Minnesota. There should be over a 500K prize pool to play for. And,
That would be a good guess. I'd take the over.
Day 1A is Friday, Day 1B Saturday, and Day Sunday finishes off on, or
Day two.
Day 2 finishes off on
That's
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yep. So.